Hey all you boils, ghouls, and non-binaries out there in cyberspace. Listener beware, because it's time to play You Can't Scare Me, the podcast where we listen to R.L. Stine's seminal work Goosebumps in chronological order and try not to kill ourselves. I'm joined as always by my co-hosts Bob.
You won't let us leave.
And Brandon.
I miss my wife. Hey everybody, welcome to You Can't Scare Me. Today I'm joined, as always, by my friends, Mario.
Hey Bob, it's me, Mario, the cool ghoul, who's everybody's pal.
Who's still in game show mode, apparently.
I just wanted to say everybody's pal like that. I had that ready to go.
Everybody's pal!
Everybody's pal!
Yeah, there we go. I will say, there is mention of a ghoul who may or may not be cool in this book, but we can't forget about the wonderful Brandon.
You can scare me if you want.
I can take it.
Is that gonna be your new catchphrase?
I guess so.
You can scare me if you want.
You can scare me if you want.
I like it. Yeah, try it on next time too. Yeah.
Dear R.L. Stein, try and please scare me.
I'm saying yes and.
If
Yes.
you want.
Yeah,
you know.
please scare me.
Are you a scare bottom?
A scare bottom?
Are you the
I
one
hate
who's
that.
being? Should I take that?
I hate that. Oh, you can leave it in. I'm just
fucking
voicing
hate
it. I'm just putting out there that I hate it.
I am a scare top.
Yes and, Mario. I detest it.
Brandon, I am yes-anding, and my yes and is that I hate it. Now in this improv sketch, everyone gets to adjust to that.
Everyone gets to adjust. Yes.
No, you don't, Oprah.
Well, guess what, y'all? We actually have, dare I say, a Goosebumps book that is not bad, or at the very least, not nearly as bad as the book that we did last time. It's One Day at Horrorland, book number 16. We were 16 deep in this shit. Oh my god! Before we get to talking about this book, I will say. I'm just going to start right off with it. Probably the most fun Goosebumps episode, the TV episode I've seen. Also, I didn't realize that they called season 3 of the Goosebumps show Ultimate Goosebumps.
Ultimate Goosebumps. Yep.
I'm reading on
way worse intro for that.
Yeah.
Also.
Oh my god.
Unbelievably worse.
Ultimate Goosebumps intro. That was the one that I was I had you listen to. It's the one that's like earlier on in You Can't Scare Me. It was like the one that had a bunch of weird stock sound effects and like like a bat
jump scare noises. Yeah,
jump scare like fucking hit. Yeah.
Ultimate Goosebumps.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I don't understand why kids are allowed to experience good things. You can make good stuff for kids.
You could. I mean, here's what I would say. I think they tried really hard on this episode of Goosebumps.
Yes.
I don't know that they succeeded in this episode of Goosebumps.
Yeah, they were trying.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but oh my god, that TV episode is the most like budget episode of Goosebumps I've ever seen. They clearly blew all of their budget on the costumes and had no money left over. It was incredible.
Nope.
They were trying so hard though. It's not good.
No.
But they did try. You can't fault them for trying.
You can't. Well, you can't.
Well, Mario, in the game show of life, there's this thing called time.
Yeah.
And as it progresses, it creates
the ultimate game.
Time that happened before the current time.
If you think about it, history is a prize that we get for living.
What a shitty prize.
It's an awful. I'm not saying you want it.
I don't want this.
I'd like money instead. Would that be cool?
Much like a sports utility vehicle, history is always there. Just out of reach.
That's such a reference to the episode that we haven't even gotten to yet. Oh my god.
All right, I'm going to preamble this episode by saying if you drink every time we say sports utility vehicle, you'll die.
Which is fucked because the book straight up says Toyota. It just says Toyota. They clearly didn't get the rights to say, didn't get the ability to say like whatever brand of car they wanted to say in the TV episode.
They were probably like, we can't even risk sending a memo to the legal department to ask if we can say Toyota for this episode because we blew it all on Monster Masks.
You can't sue me.
You can't sue
You
me.
can't sue me. Oh, that's good. But yeah, hey, anyway, fuck it. Let's talk about history, but only as it pertains to movies, television, and video games. The only history that matters.
Mario. Mm-hmm. Can you please do your section?
Yeah.
In the game show voice.
I can introduce it and then see how far we can get.
All
right, it's hold on, let me think about it. Let's talk about history, but only as it pertains to movies, TV, and video games, the only history that matters.
Oh.
In the year of our Lord, February 1994, these were your movies in theaters.
I really like Game Show Mario. He is a strong contender with Manga Mario for my favorite Mario.
Mario, can you do it in the voice of the Hotel Mario, Lou Albano style?
Can I do it in the voice of Lou Albano?
Yeah.
What a request.
Those pesky plumbers.
Those your movies for February 1994 looked something like this.
I mean, the call and response is very strong.
Okay, your movies, right? If you went to a theater in February of 94, these were some, not all, of your movie viewing options. It wasn't great, but there were a few that matter. Number 1, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective.
Hey, there's a classic right there.
Yeah, classic film. To quote Andy Samberg, classic film, one of my childhood favorites, and it only gets overtly transphobic at the very end.
Yes.
I mean, it's like I guess Jim Carrey's career was already launched at that point by In Living Color, but it's a classic. Everybody likes it. It has its problems, but what doesn't? From 94. The Black Cauldron got re-released in theaters for some reason.
Has anyone seen The Black Cauldron?
Yes.
I have.
I have not.
It looks very good as a movie. It kind of is a mess.
Yeah. It's
very pretty.
It's not the best, but it's very good to look at. Also, if you haven't seen the Defunctland video on the Black Cauldron ride, it was a ride underneath Cinderella's castle that took you into the dungeon, wherein all of Disney's villains were imprisoned, apparently.
What?
So in this world, Disney villains are in dungeons underneath Cinderella Castle.
Wow,
yeah.
That's dark. I like that.
Yeah.
But the Horned King from the Black Cauldron is in there, and he summons an army of devils to take the souls of mankind and slay all that is good and banish man to hell. And it's like a full animatronic Horned King. Very cool. No longer exists.
Yeah. As I understand, the reason why the Black Cauldron was allowed to be so dark and cool was that Secret of Nim had come out, I think. And it was a huge hit. And Disney was like, oh, I guess we can actually try to do like dark fantasy stuff, which I'm sure a lot of their artists were very into. But Papa Disney wasn't so much. He didn't want it to be so scary.
He's like, can you put a cute pig in there, please?
You can't scale me.
Make the pig cuter.
I'm okay with the pig being cute also.
It was cute.
Brother,
yeah.
make me cuter.
Brother, make me cuter.
Am I you so cute?
Brother, am I kawaii?
Desune.
Am I kawaii?
Brother.
Desune.
No. I wanted to quickly...
I am the kawaii one, brother.
Defunctland does not need shout-outs because they're just incredible, and I highly appreciate, but also the Garfield ride. The Lover's Tunnel Garfield. Yeah, please watch that. It is a ride. Also, thank you, Defunctland. I followed you a long time ago, and you actually saw my tweet about this, but you're the person who got me who awakened a memory in me of going on extraterrestrial when I was a child, and I did too. I tagged him on Twitter. By the way, we're not on Twitter anymore. Twitter is dead.
Twitter's dead. We're on Blue Sky now.
Come over to Blue Sky.
Go over there.
Give us a follow over there.
I'd say rip, but I actually don't want it to rest in peace.
Rest in penis.
Rest in shit. How about that?
Yeah. rest in shit, you fucking clown show. How appropriate that we're talking about Defunct Land on the One Day at HorrorLand episode.
Yeah. It's definitely a vibe. Yeah.
So, Extraterrestrial, I also went on that, but I had my hood up the whole time.
No, you ruined it.
I did. I ruined the experience for myself. I didn't even. It wasn't intentional. It truly was not. I was just being like a shitty kid, and like it was not intentional at all. But I walked out like that wasn't scary at all. Like because I didn't fucking feel it, dumbass.
Yeah, exactly. If I remember correctly, quote Mario as a child: "Oopa doopa doo, I'm a shitty little kid." Oopa doopa doo.
That's me. You got it. You figured me out.
When you realized that you completely ruined the experience of Extraterrestrial, you quote Mario, God damn it!
That's probably yes.
Deep Mario lore for real.
God damn it!
For real YCSM heads. But yeah, anyone who doesn't know what we're fucking referencing, Extraterrestrial was this really cool. It wasn't an experience. It was like a sit down.
I was an experience.
Ride.
Yeah,
you got in these seats, and the entire idea of it was that you were basically like transporting cargo, which was this it was this like alien. It was this fucked up crazy alien that was like super like xenomorph-esque, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And then at a certain point you're all sitting down and it's like they're testing teleportation stuff, and at a certain point the power goes out and everything goes dark, so you see this giant monster in front of you, and then lights go out, lights come back on, and then the thing that it was inside of, it's been broken. You hear like glass shatter, and it's just the monster is no longer there, and then the lights go back out, and it's like, where the fuck is it? And then the reason why Mario accidentally ruined the experience for him is because it's got little air what do you call those? Just like little blowers, little air vents,
maybe.
I guess.
Vents, yeah.
Yeah, that blew air on your neck, and it played audio like in stereo from if I remember correctly, from the seat, I think. And so it was like positional. So you heard the monster go around you, and then it was sniffing you. And as it sniffed, it was like blowing air on you. And if I remember correctly, it roared at a certain point, and they had like little, it had like, maybe it was when the tube broke, it had like water like shoot out.
There is misting. There is some misting going on. Yeah, I think it drooled on you.
Drool. Yeah. So yeah, it was it was a great ride for a. How old were you? Because I couldn't have been that much older.
Gosh, I was in maybe 5th or 6th grade at that time.
Yeah. I think it was around the.
Because shortly thereafter, it got replaced by a Lilo and Stitch ride.
Yep.
Which is even scarier.
Yeah.
The Lilo and Stitch ride's fucked up.
Yeah.
And then it was taken away completely because, of course, no one wanted to go on that. Yeah. But back to film. A movie that I bet all three of us have seen and love this film. Blank Check.
Yeah. Yep.
Tone Loc is in Blank Check.
I remember that because that's one of those classic like 90s movies, and I think they did this a lot in the 80s as well. It was like a child fantasy movie
where a
grown woman kisses a child.
Yep.
Yeah.
Famously ends with a grown woman like suggesting the possibility of a future romance with a boy that's maybe 12 years old.
I think it happened in Big as well. If I remember
it probably did. Yeah, that would make sense.
Also famously ends with the kid filling out the check to $420.69 to Steve Poop.
It's a classic film. I'm sure I've seen it probably upwards of 40 times.
For some reason, that made me want to watch Three Ninjas.
I get that. I do get that.
I don't know why, but you get me. So
I get you, and it's a short hop, skip, and a jump from Blank Check to Three Ninjas.
It's true.
My Girl 2 came out this year. The sequel to My Girl, not starring Macaulay Culkin.
Yeah. What? What?
Yeah, I don't know what that's. I think it's a bad movie. All I know about My Girl 2 is that it is referenced in the movie Spy Hard, where a child who is not Macaulay Culkin, but his in-universe name is McClunky, or McCulkey, is summarily beaten and by some terrorists or whatever, and they're like, "This is for My Girl too," and he's like, "I wasn't even in that one." But most importantly of all, I think probably and this one is probably maybe just for Brandon, but On Deadly Ground with Steven Seagal
Classic.
came out in this very month. That's the movie where Steven Seagal plays, I believe he is supposed to be Native American.
Oh my God.
And he is a bomb, or he is a fire expert. He is a fire expert or a bomb expert or something. And Michael Caine, wearing the worst toupee I've ever seen.
That changes at some point.
That changes
His hair
color.
changes.
Is his boss, who is trying to like some kind of oil thing in Alaska. Steven Seagal has to go on a vision quest with the Eskimos.
Sick.
It is incredible. Oh, there's also a part where Steven Seagal gets into a bar fight with somebody, and he's like, "The path to peace is measured by your will to work together with your balls." And he talks with this guy's balls like for no joke, like 10 minutes.
Okay.
He keeps talking about this dude's balls. And then like a Native American man is like, "Thank you so much, Steven Seagal. Your work is so beautiful and you're so smart." Like, and you're a hero to our people.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Steven Seagal, there's a lot of bad people out there. He might be the worst of them. He might be the worst person.
I strongly recommend watching On Deadly Ground. See, it's a terrible film, but it's very funny.
Starring the worst person.
Yeah, he sucks ass. Midnight Cowboy came out this year. I've never seen it, but Dustin Hoffman's in it. I don't know if that's anything. And then Reality Bites, which is Ben Stiller's first directorial role, was this year, which is weird to think that Ben Stiller was directing major motion pictures in 1994, but it happened.
How old was he?
God, he had to be in his 20s?
It has to be
30s?
20s.
Do a little math on that, I guess.
So 30s, I guess?
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
Pretty weird to think about, though. Let's talk about TV. It was, oh man, shit was still bad in TV. Starz launched its multiplex channel lineup. Encore launched its multiplex channels, which includes its Starz. And so now Starz exists.
Thank God.
And, you can now stream it, probably, if you want.
Maybe.
Also, that had, like, the action channel and, like, the romance channel. And I watched a lot of the action channel. And it's where I watched a lot of anime as a kid.
So if you got a time machine out there and you want to go back there, just remember Starz exists at this period. In this period
February
that we're
94. Before that, you don't want to go back.
Nope. Starz, anywhere past that, everywhere before that, nope. Wasteland, barren wasteland.
If you pass that, Starz will exist.
That's true. I didn't know this, but apparently this month in history, Martin Lawrence was banned from SNL.
What? Why?
Because apparently in his monologue, he made a bunch of very sexually explicit jokes about female genitalia and feminine hygiene. And according to Jim Downey, the guy who wrote a bunch of stuff for Norm Macdonald, who had to come out and film a pre-recorded segment for all subsequent airings of this episode. Apparently the show is almost canceled because of this.
SNL was almost canceled?
Yeah, apparently.
Wow.
Or everyone was almost fired because of it. Yeah. Also, Sony bought Columbia and TriStar. Beginning the end of time.
Yeah. That was it.
That was it. That was the start of it.
And just FYI, if you haven't seen it, Jim Downey on Conan O'Brien
oh
Needs
my
a Friend
God.
is
so funny.
He's so fucking funny. That intro is like I haven't laughed as hard in so long.
The Epstein bit is the fucking funniest thing.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Oh my God, dude.
He is so funny.
He is so fucking funny. Oh my God.
What started on TV this month? Well, you'll be so glad to hear that Aladdin, the TV series, did.
I remember that. I also remember the Timon and Pumbaa TV show as well. Yes.
Yeah, and also the Hercules show, which of course has not yet aired. I watched a lot of Aladdin and Hercules. And I was a big fan of Abismal. I liked Abismal on Aladdin. I thought he was cool because he had a skeleton hand, and I thought that was very cool.
And he has a fun name.
Yeah, it is fun to say. Abismal is fun to say, but his skeleton hand was dope, in my opinion.
Skeleton hands are dope in general, I have found.
Yeah.
We all love skeletal hands.
Young me was like, are you telling me that this guy has a fucking a spooky skeleton hand? Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine young Mario instead of being mad and saying, God damn it, being excited and being like, fuck yeah.
Where on Earth is Carmen Sandiego premiered? I don't remember this. I don't remember this show at all.
Where in space is Carmen Sandiego?
Where in the universe is Carmen?
Well, I remember where in time when she time traveled, but I don't remember on Earth. that one I don't get. Because I don't know what the difference is between where on Earth and where in the world.
Yeah, is there any functional difference? Like
the last one's where in prison is Carmen Sandiego after they finally caught her.
And then MTV's Trash premiered, hosted by disgraced shithead Chris Hardwick. We were blighted by the existence of Chris Hardwick for so long.
Has he finally gone away? I think
he's gone.
Ever since Talking Dead, it was like I just kept seeing him everywhere, and then something. I remember he got outed as being a piece of shit.
Yeah, piece of shit. I think he's gone. I think we're finally free of his horrible reign.
Oh God, his unfunny fucking bullshit. Jesus Christ.
Shows that ended. This is kind of tragic because we've talked about both of these. Saved by the Bell, the college years, which you may remember we discussed in The Girl Who Cried Monster, I believe, because that's when it premiered. Alas, rip in peace. And Bonkers, which it feels like we just talked about. It feels
like we've always been talking about Bonkers.
I'm always thinking about Bonkers.
Alas, Bonkers was canceled. However, it of course would come back on Toon Disney, which is where I actually watched it. Video games, boy, I mean, shit was bad in this month too. Art of Fighting 2 came out in the arcades. That one's not bad. That one's, I think it's considered a lesser Art of Fighting, but
I haven't played that one.
I think that's the one where the villain is like a fucking Monster Mash, like a giant man on steroids. I think so. It's a weird one.
Oh, is it like a belt scroller?
Yeah, that may be Art of Fighting 3 if it exists. I don't remember. Art of Fighting, I'm not an expert on, so someone can correct me, I guess.
Oh, it's following the Fatal Fury series?
Art of Fighting is actually a prequel to... no, sorry. The Monster Mash is in Art of Fighting 3.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing in Art of Fighting 2, the villain is still Mr. Big.
Reading quickly about it now, yeah. SNK.
Yeah, okay. Art of Fighting 2... Oh, Art of Fighting 2 has the secret boss of young Geese Howard. Okay. Never mind, I do know which one it is.
Sick.
No, that's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. Yeah, so Art of Fighting is a prequel to Fatal Fury. They don't directly follow one another or anything like that, but the Geese Howard appearance makes it clear that they are related. Cool Spot got released in Europe and on the Mega Drive. I think we already talked about Cool Spot, but if we didn't, it's Cool Spot.
It's Cool Spot.
Even if we didn't talk about it, I have lived it.
If we didn't talk about it, I don't know why Cool Spot was so ubiquitous.
I don't.
But
it was in every Blockbuster. Everybody saw it.
It was in every issue of Game Fan magazine. You can't get away from it. Shin Megami Tensei released on the Sega CD. Romance of the Three Kingdoms 4 came out. They were already on 4 of those. Mega Man Soccer for the Famicom. What's up? I rented that on the SNES. Madden 94.
Oh, thank Christ.
Final Fantasy 1 and 2 bundle released.
Madden 94 was the last one, wasn't it?
Madden 94, it was true. You know what? That's interesting. And they killed Madden off at the end of that one.
Yeah.
I'm going to throw a question out there.
Yeah.
What is the first Final Fantasy game that I should play? Like, which one of all of the Final Fantasy games, where should I start?
Are you saying you specifically want a very old one? Because I feel like the old one that everyone really likes is 6, but 6? I don't know that. I'm not an expert. Brandon knows more than I do on that.
Okay.
I mean, 6 is good, but I wouldn't consider it to be well, I guess it is very old now.
I mean, of the pre-3D ones,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
4 is cool.
A 4? Okay.
Yeah, there's the 3 remake on the DS, but I would say, I tried really hard to play that one, but I had to put it down. The randomized battles are too constant, and, it's so grindy.
Oh, really?
I mean, if you're going from a historical perspective, you could play any of them, even the first one.
Okay, so I'm hearing 4 and 6. Those are probably the
I'd do
ones
6.
look for.
Yeah, 6 is good.
Yeah, because I saw there were a bunch of those on Steam.
Yeah, there are.
So
the remasters or whatever.
I've been known to grind every now and then. On the side, I'm known to grind.
Listen, It's my flashlight.
Why is your flashlight off?
I just lift my phone up. My flashlight was on. I was like, what the fuck? Here's the last one, and this one pissed me off because the video game wiki that I had first of all doesn't have specific dates for a bunch of these games, which is a little bit of a fuck you. But also does not sort by month; it just sorts by alphabet, and that drives me crazy. But Sonic 3 came out this month.
Oh my god, dude!
And they didn't have it. They didn't mention it.
Didn't mention it. That's
how do you not mention the most important one on this fucking list?
You want to know something fucked up?
What's that?
I've never fully played Sonic 3.
What about Sonic 3 and Knuckles?
Yes, I have played Sonic 3 and Knuckles. I have played Sonic and Knuckles. I've played Sonic 1, Sonic 2. For some reason, my parents refused to get me Sonic 3, and because of that, I never have gone back and played it. Even though I've got the Sonic collection that came out, I have never taken the time to just like play it all the way through.
You know, people in the know call Sonic and Knuckles 3 Suckles for short.
It's true.
Yes.
I'm so sorry to out myself as not a real Sonic.
That's
head.
okay. I haven't played Sonic 3 either.
Speaking of outing yourself, did you know? I just looked it up. There's an app for people that want to find what old Final Fantasy game they should play.
What?
It's called Grindr.
Oh, yeah, okay. I hate myself for thinking that you were serious for like a split second.
That's a good joke. You could broaden it to any old RPG, but yeah.
I did want to say if you're done, Mario.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done. Yes, that was it. All of history's done. No more.
We, the You Can't Scare Me crew, met in real life recently.
We did.
We all
IRL.
We had a great time IRL. Y'all, we all went to an arcade and we had a lot of fun. Brandon kicked my ass at Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
That's normal. That's to be expected.
I've been training on the stick for some time. And I also played arcade games.
Yeah, we played pinball, and probably my favorite was playing with Mario, House of the Dead. What was it, 3?
Yeah.
God, I fucking love House of the Dead.
House of the Dead rules.
That was great.
House of the Dead. Oh my god, that reminds me of when. One of the reasons we got a Dreamcast back in the day was for House of the Dead 2. My dad got a light gun with it. And I had so much fucking fun. It was such a good game. I played through it like multiple times. And then one day I came downstairs and my little brother, out of frustration, he did this with Soul Calibur as well. He snapped the disc in half.
Wow.
Because he was jealous of us paying attention to the game, and he wanted me to play with him. So
woof.
Wow.
Have I told you that? I'm sure I've told my dog peeing on my Dreamcast story in this podcast before.
I feel like if you did, I would have remembered that.
Well, I had to buy 3 Dreamcasts because my dog loved to pee on them. I can't explain.
Why?
I don't know. She never peed in the house ever. But when literally night 1 of having the Dreamcast in my bedroom, she opened my bedroom door, came in, and peed directly on it. And I was like, well, this is ruined. So we had to take it back and be like, it doesn't
dog work for Sony? What
I don't know. We were like, it doesn't work. We got to get a new Dreamcast, right? So
She hated Big the cat.
But here's what's wild too. The Dreamcast contained my copy of MVC2. So every time I would spin up MVC2, it would smell like pee. And of course I'd leave it running all night because of the training mode thing. So like very powerful pee stuff going
piss
on.
Game. Strong piss game.
But yeah, so I got a second one. It literally got a second one, put it in my room. Next night.
What the fuck?
Next night, she comes back in and pees.
Mario, you're not telling us a story. You're telling us a mystery.
It is truly a mystery.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know what it was.
I thought my story about my younger brother, like not my other brother, my youngest brother, getting the GameCube and then putting an entire hot dog that was completely covered in ketchup into the GameCube for some reason. I thought that was a fun story.
He wanted to play the hot dog.
But no, you
I want to play hot dog.
I want to play hot dog.
I want to play hot dog. I'm done with Cool Spot. I want to play hot dog. I thought that was a cool story, but no, you've got dog piss mystery.
It's really weird. I cannot explain it. I think after that was when I began like closing my door to my bedroom.
Good idea.
Like, I think it wasn't because I was a rebellious teen. It was because I was protecting my Dreamcast from my dog.
Oh my God. What the fuck? All right. Well, I guess thank you for giving us a lifelong curiosity to ponder. Hey, Brandon.
Yeah.
It says here cover discussion.
That's right, Bob. This is Judging a Book by Its Cover, the part of the podcast where we do what they say we should not do. You can't scare me, and you can't tell me what to do.
It's true.
We can put over the Price is Right music or whatever over that too. So if you look in the packet I sent you, there's a number of images. The first of these is the original Tim Jacobus cover with its teal text and goo on a light purple background.
I love this pairing.
The central image depicts a sign reading "Welcome to Horrorland," where nightmares come to life. Hanging off the back of the sign is a giant green horned monster with red eyes, his claws digging into the face of the sign. To the left is a spooky tree, bare of leaves, and the ground beneath the sign is cracked concrete with shrubs growing up from beneath. In the distant background, you can see the outline of a Ferris wheel, circus tents, and the lattice of a wooden coaster framed against the receding sunset, all beneath a darkening blue sky. The flavor text reads, "Enter if you dare." We all like it. It's nice.
This is a great cover.
Very, it's appropriate as it evokes cotton candy to me.
It does.
Yeah.
So I only realized after reading the book that this cover is the big monster head that comes down the car in the beginning of the film, the beginning of the story.
The film.
It's not. I realize now that it is not meant to be an actual horror. It is a constructed decoration of one.
Yes.
It is an imitation of one. Also, I have this on both a blanket that I bought myself and a t-shirt that I was given. This cover is wonderful.
Yeah.
It's very incredible. Also, Jacobus has a really cool way of drawing trees.
Yeah.
Like the sort of like barren winter tree that kind of looks like just an upside down lightning bolt that just has a bunch of like little lines that are going off in all different places. It's nice.
Like a fulgurate, like an upside down fulgurate.
Yeah.
Did you, Brandon, put in the original sketch?
No.
There's a sketch for what the cover was going originally to look like. I'll put it in the chat for the sake of.
This is just like, oh.
Okay. There was another sketch that ended up as the Vietnamese cover, so I thought that was also for the Vietnamese cover. I didn't know this was for Jacobus.
That's a Jacobus one, yeah. It looks like he did a couple.
You want to describe it?
It's the gates of Horrorland, but the gates are a giant horror mouth, and they're very, very, and like the actual bars of the gate would be the teeth of the Horrorland monster of the horror, and then it leading into the amusement park background from the original cover. I don't think it's as good as the original cover, or the actual cover.
No.
I think the actual cover is better.
I agree.
I think that I like the idea of it and the composition, but I think like Goosebumps wants characters, and so you've got to see the monster.
Yeah.
I do like the ominousness of the gate and the lightning and there's lightning in the background and all of that. I think it's very ominous and spooky, but I think that the final cover better matches the tone of the story, actually. Like, it's a little cheeky because the monster's doing a little Ziggy maneuver. You know what I mean? It's a little cute.
Yeah, I like the way that the theme park is like in the distance, framed against the dying sunset. I think it makes it look like kind of cool and ominous.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a really cool color palette he's using. That gradient is very good.
Yeah. Also, in this sketch, are those graves or are those porta potties?
Maybe. Oh. That would be an amazing aesthetic if all their porta potties in Horrorland were shaped like
graves.
tombstones. That'd be great. Ooh, missed opportunity there, RL.
Truly.
Next.
Moving on to
fuck.
The UK.
The UK. UK.
I'm going to do the entire thing in the posh.
This cover is giving extreme.
This cover.
Cover. The typical UK cover. Goo background is back again. This time green with purple spots. In the middle is a rather doofy-looking stone gargoyle head.
This asshole.
This is the Waterman, or Watergooman, with a wide gap tooth and protruding tongue. A wide gap tooth grin, I should say. The overall effect is very goofy, I don't know how else to describe it. A goofy gargoyle, a fun time gargoyle.
Yeah.
Not a scary gargoyle. Very strange.
This looks like they literally took a photo of a gargoyle. Is this what's like? I do believe it is drawn, but it looks like a photo of a gargoyle.
Of a friendly Disney-esque gargoyle.
UK, what are you doing?
Yeah, what is this?
What's going on in the Uck?
Yeah,
Like 16 deep in this, and you're still doing this fucking goofy fucking goo.
the purple and green goo, I think, is one of the better goo colorings. I'll give him that.
I mean, it's better than like white and
Yeah.
Well,
the font
what we
is
can-
bad, though. The black and red font is terrible.
it's
It looks
awful.
very bad, yeah. What we can only say of the UK covers is that they're a cool mystery.
Cool mistress.
The French cover, Chair de Poule in Le Parc de l'Horreur, features in the foreground at the bottom of the page the outline of a theme park over which a Godzilla-sized green ape monster looms.
It's fucking Muzzy. It's fucking Muzzy.
It's Muzzy. He teaches French. It's Muzzy.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Yeah.
Bonjour. That one's for all you 90s kids out there.
Yeah.
You would be misled by this cover.
I kind of like it. I don't like the bottom part, but I do kind of like the horror. Like,
You know, the fun thing about the French covers is that I just like the at least it's not the UK cover. Like I do
mean,
like the sort of rainbow aesthetic around, and then just the dark black in the middle of it. It's really it really kind of punches through. It's kind of a nice aesthetic. The contents of it, however,
yeah, I mean, I think the monster's face looks pretty good actually, but
it looks like a fucking what were those creatures from Animorphs? That were
Hork-Bajir?
Yeah, it's a Hork-Bajir.
Yeah, it's like a vaguely
I don't want to look at it anymore.
like a combination of a man, a horse, and an ape.
it's the body's kind of got the Twilight Zone teddy bear thing going on.
I'm sorry, I skipped ahead.
Yeah, okay. Moving on to the Dutch cover.
This cover fucks. This
Kippenville.
cover fucking goes, man.
All right,
Hell
the Dutch
Oh
cover
my god!
for Kippenville, simply titled HorrorLand, depicts two withered, rubbery-looking children, one boy and one girl, laughing and looking towards the
God.
viewer.
They're as scary as the horror is.
They're way scarier. Behind them,
Yeah.
a sign reading "Welcome to Horrorland" fills up most of the frame, hanging off the back of which is a spiky scorpion lizard monster, green, I should say, with a
It's also fuzzy.
spiked ball for a tail end and many claws. It has red reptilian slit eyes, and it's a little bit like what Muzzy would turn into if you kept watching that series.
It's sort of Chupacabra-esque.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks nice. The hateful expression of the kids works against the spookiness of the cover. They are terrifying.
This is traumatizing. If I were a child and I saw this, I wouldn't sleep for a fucking week.
Are they
Yeah.
supposed to be screaming?
I think they're
No, they're
enjoying
laughing.
it. I think
They're just
laughing.
enjoying. They're having a good time.
They
Okay.
don't know. They don't know that this giant thing is about to come up in there and fucking eat the back of their heads.
Also, great job whoever drew this. Great job not reading the fucking book.
Yeah. What is this thing?
Well, not only that, but there are, as the person who has the first 8 chapters,
yeah.
I have read at least 3 times the descriptions of these characters, and they have straight black hair.
Yeah.
And they are described as being pale and tall.
Also, they're not the same age.
And they're not described as being made of rubber.
This is true.
The next cover, the excellent Korean cover. Korea just does it. You guys do it good.
Ooh, I love
Oh.
this guy.
Yeah.
As usual, it is heavily stylized and mostly cool colors, except for the whole frame is canted about 15 degrees counterclockwise. There's a classy green gremlin front and center occupying about a third of the frame with a wide grin. He has striped black and white horns and big yellow eyes. His front claw is beckoning like a maneki neko. Behind him, the outline of a theme park is visible with the Ferris wheel towers and a guillotine. The Ferris wheel has a big evil eye motif at its center. At the ground level behind the gremlin is a crowd of various illustrated monsters. including one that looks a bit like Brack.
Yeah, I see him.
Yes. Yeah.
This cover rules.
It evokes like Psychonaut style to me in a little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah. Especially the characters in the background.
Yeah,
Like the kind of like heavily stylized look.
Yeah, this is cool.
So is the monster, does it have its hand open toward the viewer? Or is it like, because it looks like a thumb. I was going to ask, because is it Korea I know it's Japan, but is it Korea too that does the beckoning, like the cat, like sort of like paw, like sort of like batting something?
Yeah.
I don't know how to describe that.
I don't actually know. I know like in the West, we beckon with our hand like upturned, and like the Maneki Neko with its beckons by like waving its fingers down basically, or its paw down. And from this, it looks like he's doing that too. I don't know if that's an all of Asia thing or just a Japanese thing, but I'm guessing from this, either that or he's going like, "Oh, girl."
I can confirm. Google tells me they do use the same hand gesture.
Okay.
So he's beckoning. He's like, "Come on in, buddy."
I love that.
This cover rules.
Fully into it.
Yeah.
Fully into it.
It's so messy. I love that messiness.
I love that. I love that messy. that messy.
This cover gives good messy.
There's just a bunch of messy bitches up and up theme park. The Vietnamese cover is next, and this is the last cover. The vast majority of them use the Tim Jacobus cover. So the Vietnamese cover depicts an overturned bike lit by car headlights with a single empty shoe in the foreground. Behind the bike looms the outline of a theme park roller coaster and Ferris wheel framed against the setting sun. I think the colors are nice. The composition's fine, but it's not really given me horror or
no.
Yeah.
It's ominous, but
it's ominous, but it's more like mystery book. That's the kind of vibe it's given.
It does not evoke a monster park.
No monsters. If it's got monsters in it, you gotta have monsters.
Is that a Converse shoe?
It looks like it. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, these covers, you need to get one thing right. It's the Converse shoes.
The classic Goosebumps cover.
Here we are again.
Has a big at front and center. Okay, so this depicts the monster at the ice cream stand, and he's got he looks like new Ghostbusters, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
kind of a bulbous, anonymous green thing. He's sort of ripped. He's he's green all over except for purple. Hands up from his elbows to his fingers. He's holding up for you, the viewer, a popsicle that looks like a bat that's black. He is under an umbrella.
I like that.
Yeah, it's dripping like activated charcoal or something.
Yeah, and then behind him you can see the outline of the theme park rides and roller coaster in purple. It's not the worst cover. There's definitely worse classic Goosebumps covers, although
it's pretty accurate to the descriptions of the monsters in the book.
It is.
Except he's ripped, and also he looks like he's a ghost. Is he floating?
Yeah,
no, that's his tail.
Slimer, it's like Slimer energy. I don't know why.
There's also on the ice cream stand, there appears to be a hot dog with arms and legs.
Yeah, it's like a cockroach hot dog.
Yeah, beetle hot dog.
Look at the skull in the background, the bottom left.
That's pretty good.
That's
I like
fucking
that.
Cool.
The Dr. Wily's castle.
I do like that. This is okay.
Yeah, the color actually is nice. I like the purple with the yellow, and then the green really kind of pops on top of it. Yeah,
I think this may actually be the best of the classic Goosebumps covers.
Yeah.
It's no Jacobus, but it'll do.
Yeah, the offensive font remains. There's
It's red though.
5 fonts on this. It's so evil. Why would they do this?
Because they hate children.
They hate eyes.
Children.
They want your eyes to burn out of your skull.
That's true.
Moving on to so there were not many covers, but there was a lot of stuff for One Day at HorrorLand.
Yeah,
I love stuff.
So first we've got a board game. There was a HorrorLand board game. This will depict the monster guy from One Day at HorrorLand that will appear as the mascot. He is a green goblin, behorned, with a very prominent brow and exposed fangs. He is wearing what did you call this? What's the appropriate term for this garment?
A muscle shirt?
Yeah, it's a muscle shirt.
Yeah, muscle shirt.
Is it a wife beater?
Wife beater is
no, he's got his sleeves rolled up. He's got his sleeves rolled up because he's so fucking ripped.
Yeah, he looks like he would be a fighting game character in the 90s.
Yeah,
he does.
These guys are ripped. What the hell?
Yeah, and this is supposed to be Tim Jacobus, I think, because like he wore clothes like this. He's got torn jeans. That's Tim Jacobus if he was a monster.
Yeah, I could see that. Also, a shout out to the Doom slide in the background.
Yeah, so I don't know if you saw a picture of this actual board game, Brandon. But I saw a video of someone assembling it. So it's like kind of a mousetrappy kind of thing. Where
I think the next picture is part of it.
Oh, okay.
Do what?
The next picture is part of it.
No, it's not. The next picture is not.
Oh, really?
The microverse thing?
Oh.
That's a different thing entirely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it does look like that. Yeah.
Here it is.
Whoa.
Like, it's not actually Mousetrap in the sense that you don't actually get... There's not like an apparatus, but you do get to build all the rides.
That Doom slide fucking sucks.
That's not even that much Doom.
Oh, you do have a pretty steep fucking fall at one part in that slide. So. Yeah, maybe you're dead.
I mean, it's they tried their best. That's the thing.
That's more elaborate than you'd have to make for a board game. At least they tried.
Yeah,
they did do more than you'd have to.
That's true.
So after this is like one of those I guess Polly Pocket kind of
Mighty Max
things where it was a big plastic box full of little intricate plastic bits that you would open up little sections and
then lose all of immediately.
Yeah, they would have lots of little parts that would disappear forever. That you would step on or dogs would eat.
Yeah, your dog would come into the room, you would look away, and then suddenly half of them are gone.
Yeah, filling our pets with microplastics.
And our children.
Or macroplastics. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a macroplastic situation.
Macroplastic.
The next is a Goosebumps lunchbox. Not a lot
Oh
to
my
say.
God, that thermos.
That thermos is the best part. Yeah.
Dude. That's a curly
you know what?
right there. That's a fucking curly.
I think I had this lunchbox.
Dude. Wait. Did I too?
I remember these eyes very specifically.
I do too. I don't think it was HorrorLand. It might have been a different book.
Maybe. I don't remember this thermos, but this lunchbox looks really familiar.
Dude, I legitimately would pay money for that thermos.
Those eyes are they probably reused those on several other Goosebumps lunchboxes.
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, you can clearly see that it's like kind of a like it's an art element where they're taking the like sort of center part and then they're just slapping on whatever art in the middle of it.
Yeah, it's just the cover with a bunch of orange eyes over it, but there is a curly thermos, and that is dope.
So fucking sick. Also, it looks like this glows in the dark. If that green is any, you know how that kind of glow in the dark green looks. Yeah.
In case you are having a school lunch in the dark.
Hey, it happens.
It's
sometimes.
True. Sometimes.
So next we've got a Goosebumps electronic pinball game with the gremlin for One Day at Horrorland looking back at you. He's having a good time.
Yeah.
It's big, it's purple, it's long. This looks pretty elaborate.
I guarantee it's not.
No, it definitely isn't. But
oh man, so many handheld games.
There was a Tiger Electronics style crappy LCD game that no one enjoyed. I don't know how you play it.
No one enjoyed these.
Yeah,
basically the thing that they tried to tell you was the same as a Game Boy, but it was not a fucking Game Boy.
Yep.
Absolute trash. I have no idea how you play this either. There's like no buttons visible. Probably on the back or on the sides, even worse.
Ugh.
Next we've got a...
Oh, you know what? Sorry to bring it back, but the that actually looks like it was one of those... this game was made for one of those like machines that you would plug it into.
Oh, God.
And then, so it was... I forget what that was, but it was basically like, this isn't the game itself. It's like a cartridge, quote unquote.
Oh.
So literally like someone trying to make a Game Boy type situation with cartridges.
But dog shit.
But like ass. Like complete... utter ass.
Oh my God.
Why would you even want that?
You didn't even like getting them.
There's a toy of the activated charcoal fucking ice cream.
Yeah. So there's a little figurine. It's the guy. It's our guy, and he's holding a black ice cream cone.
That's pretty cool.
And he's got a little stand.
Why is there so much merch?
I'll tell you why there's so much merch, Bob. It's because according to fans, or at least in 2015, Scholastic held a poll for what the favorite of the original series, like the people's favorites was.
What?
One Day at Horrorland was voted the favorite of the original series of Goosebumps.
What?
Yep.
That makes sense.
Does it?
So that's why there's so much merch of it, I bet, is because it was probably astoundingly popular.
Okay.
I don't remember that at all, but like
I don't remember. Yeah, none of this is like gelling with me. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. Like it definitely, like we'll get to it, but like
when I was a kid, I remembered everyone talking about Haunted Mask.
Yeah, it was Haunted
but
Mask,
apparently everybody was like very up on Horrorland. I don't know. Like,
well, I get why. I mean, it's because like Horrorland has got a bunch of stuff in it.
It's marketable.
It's true.
It's very marketable.
Yeah. It's definitely the one Goosebumps book we've read that really gets up and goes.
Yeah,
That's true.
and also
that's true.
it had a game. There was like a push for it.
It had again. I mean, I feel like we can't really talk about the game conceptually until after the story is over. But it had a fucking actual video game, the first video game made by DreamWorks, starring Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah, that's wild to me. I just grew up with it was like what Mario said. Like it was a haunted mask for me, and like. This is my first time seeing all this stuff.
Yeah,
so
I
it's
don't.
my first time reading One Day at HorrorLand too. So.
I don't remember any of this shit.
Yeah. Oh, and this might explain it. For on the next image, Brandon has provided. It's a scary stamper with the One Day at HorrorLand thing. But on the bottom left, you can see watch Goosebumps on Fox Kids Network.
Ooh,
That's probably part of it. There was an awful lot around this, like that the TV episode had the Backstreet Boys presenting it, and
True.
I mean, they did do a lot for this TV episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. But you skipped the pen.
Yeah, so
You skipped the pen.
there's several.
I'm so sorry. I'm so
several
sorry. The
writing
gruesome
utensils. There's the gruesome pen, which is a green pen with the guy behind the sign on it. Next is
Wait.
wait. Yeah,
What ink?
black ink.
Thank God. Okay, thank you.
Oh my god!
And it wrote approximately 2 times.
Yeah.
Well, I don't understand. Yeah, exactly. But also, I don't. Why do you have to say it writes like that's the standard? That's the fucking.
It's because it's
baseline.
green color.
Yeah,
It says green
I don't like
color.
that if it writes in green ink. I want my kids to be able to sign their blank check.
Yep.
Nice callback. There you go.
Hey.
We're figuring out this podcasting thing. We're getting there.
So we've got multiple other writing utensils. We've got a gruesome pen, a scary stamper that has the same motif.
Whatever that's for.
My guess is that it's so that you can stamp the front of Welcome to Horrorland on other people's
I'm guessing.
books.
I'm guessing.
Very useful. It's something we all wanted as kids. The next one is the spooky sharpener and the ravenous pencil sharpener. There were 2 different sharpeners with different designs, pencil sharpeners.
Oh my god.
Why?
And the second one's only 50 cents.
Well, their price was $1.20.
Oh.
Well, yeah, wait a minute. Hold on a minute. Like
There's a
50 cents.
sticker.
Our price. Triple. Like,
It looks like $2.99 and then under at $1.20 and then 50 cents. I guess they were having a hard time selling the ravenous pencil sharpener.
I don't know, man. That's so weird.
Next is the Goosebumps right on time alarm clock with the guy. He's ripped still, but now he's like looking. He's looking off to the side, like what the fuck was that? And he's got a big heart that says number 16 tattooed, red heart on his arm.
Oh, that's cute. That's cute.
That's a lot.
Oh, and the design inside the clock is his lower torso.
Yeah.
I just realized.
So he's
that
it's coming up out of
He's busting out of the clock.
Or no, he's like reacting in fear from the alarm, I guess.
I guess so.
maybe, yeah.
He's like,
Yeah, maybe.
hit, boo, hiss, get away, and then
Or he's scared of what you do in your sleep.
This fucking expression is extremely that edited photo of Germa. Fucking like when he's got his mouth wide. Hold on, I'll fucking show it.
he looks like Jeff the Killer a little bit.
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right. Listen, he looks.
I think he's meant to be like a guy who got turned into a monster because like his
I don't
feet are
know.
ripping
Is that
through
how monsters are made in
shoes.
this?
I don't know if that's true. I don't know what this is. Oh, wait a minute. Actually, wait a minute. At the end of the video game, if you get the bad ending, your parents turn into monsters. So maybe there is something to that. Maybe Brandon's right.
It's a Spirited Away
lore.
thing.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe Brandon's onto something.
Yeah, maybe they figured out the lore in the middle of merchandising.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you look at this guy here, his like feet have grown through shoes.
Yeah,
they have.
And he was wearing jeans and they ripped. So
if you saw this horror at a bar, you know what I mean? Like you'd be like, no, I get it. No, I know.
It's funny because I imagine he was a greaser before he got turned into a monster.
A little bit. He's got a little kind of greaser vibes to him. Yeah. It's like he's giving James Dean. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sleeves rolled traditionally. Like he's getting 50s greaser guy.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
But in 2024, it's a different vibe.
you can see the full illustration of him on the next image.
On the next one,
which is the back of the alarm clock box. This has the full illustration. Also, it features a pleasant wake-up sound. Don't be alarmed. But that's the point of your product. It's an alarm clock. There's also a rabbit holding an invisible small object.
Yeah, what is that?
I don't know what that is. I'm guessing might be Xeon. It might be the people who made it. No. No, I think the horror is reacting to that rabbit.
Oh,
it's pinching.
Oh,
it's pinching.
Oh,
it's
pinching.
It's pinching.
Wow.
Yeah.
The horror is recoiling because the rabbit is making a pinching motion. Why is the rabbit there?
That's a lot.
What is the rabbit?
Look,
What is the
Really
rabbit
hard on
for?
this.
Rabbits not only have consciousness in this universe, but also they pinch, and they know that monsters will die if they get pinched.
What the fuck is the story we're telling?
See, this is what I'm talking about. It's telling a whole story. Like there's so much lore that we've found.
Wow, next.
Quote unquote beep beep.
Beep.
Okay. All right. The next is this is a pinch the horror. What the fuck is this? A grabbing claw?
Yeah, I
It's
think
a claw
grabber.
grabbing
Yeah, it's a
game.
claw game. It's like a
And you gotta pinch the horror. Well, they really went on the pinching thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's also a thing I didn't remember from this universe, but I guess it was a thing.
Yeah.
Huh.
There's a shirt next with two skeletons and a coffin roller coaster ride. and
That's kind of sick.
it's kind of sick. I sort of wish that the Gremlin Monster Man
Wasn't so aggressively trying to be scary.
yeah, he's really Chernaboggy in this one.
Yeah, I wish he was back to being. I wish it was this cover, but with the old James Deany.
Yeah.
like
Yeah, someone
buff,
take this
buff rolled sleeve
Yeah,
skeleton.
give him a fucking just like a cut off white shirt or like a rolled up shirt. Yeah.
I'm being menaced.
This extremely reminds me of which Ghostbusters monster was it? Was it the first one? Or
Oh, are you thinking the dogs?
yeah,
and,
the dogs,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
the
This is
like-
statues,
That
It's got a bit of that.
or like-
the key.
yeah.
What was it?
The gatekeeper and the
Gatekeeper and the
keymaster.
Keymaster.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the demon dogs. Also a little bit of like Kraid from Metroid, and
Here's the thing: if you took off the Goosebumps logos, it could be a Desherizone shirt
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
in a major way.
Oh, it's a coffin. I didn't notice.
Yeah.
that. It's the little coaster is a coffin.
with door knockers on it. That's pretty good.
The spinny ride is a bunch of skeletal hands holding some coffins.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love that the skeletons are having fun.
Yes.
That's
I just like seeing skeletons having fun. They rarely get to have fun, you know.
I love that.
I love that for them.
And with the end of that is the end of the images. The image cycle is complete.
And
No
now
more images forever. Close your eyes for the rest of time. Are you driving? Close your eyes right now.
Are you driving? Close your eyes and imagine this buff horror with his sleeves rolled.
And by the way, if you're listening to this podcast in a Cybertruck right now, your entire windshield is bam. Right now is the picture of Germa. You can't see through it.
Yep. Nope.
Yep. It's gonna be like that for 30 seconds.
I was able to do that. I was able to backdoor into your Cybertruck. Alrighty. And with that, let's go ahead and move on to chapter summary discussions. And as I said before, I have the first 8 chapters. So without further ado, chapter 1. One Day at HorrorLand opens with a flash forward telling us everyone is going to die. Quote, as we entered the gates to HorrorLand, we had no idea that in just a few hours, we would be all lying in our coffins.
Oh, hold on, I gotta get my notes. My notes are gone. Ah!
Well, I've got a note for this. Cool.
Cool.
This is already a better book than the last one.
Yes.
This is yeah. Oh, thank God.
Ugh.
Oh, all right. I'm gonna be right back. I'll be right back. Gotta go to the other room.
That is an interesting question. I wonder if this book is beloved so much because the previous book was just so dog shit garbage.
Or it's just one of those things where like maybe it was really beloved in every other place but the middle of the country.
I don't know.
Because like I remember this book. I don't remember if I read it even as a kid, but like
See, I
now
don't remember anything about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
I really want Goosebumps heads. If you remember when Goosebumps was actually like happening, do you remember if HorrorLand took off as a book? Or was it because of the TV show? Like, did the TV show bring readers to HorrorLand, and then that kind of helped its reputation? Or
Well, I'll say this to you. I'll say this, Bob. The video game did come before the TV show
Okay.
by a whole year.
Interesting. Maybe it's I don't know. It's not like I'm like, oh my God, people have different tastes than me. How could this be? Like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm just like, I'm
I just don't remember
curious.
this.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I legitimately do not remember. Anyway, meet Lizzie, a calm child of unknown age who is calm because she says she's calm because everyone says she's calm, which just makes me wonder what kind of shit she's had to deal with to make people come up to her unprompted and say, "You're awfully calm."
They call me Calm Lizzie.
That's what they call me.
Lizzie takes time from her unironically amazing staycation lying in a coffin to paint us a mental picture of the beginning of their trip, where her little brother, Luke's unfortunate friend Clay, and her unnamed and hurtling toward divorce mother and father are all piled in the family's Toyota trademark. Trying to find a store brand King's Dominion called Zoo Gardens.
So I think this is a Busch Gardens reference.
I was going to say that, but I felt that was a little bit too on the nose. Also, let's be real. King's Dominion is much better than Busch Gardens. I'm just fucking Rebel Yell. Are you kidding me? Anyway, that's for King's Dominion heads. Too bad mom and dad are idiots and didn't pack the map. And also didn't immediately turn around to go back and get the map, and instead drove for presumably hundreds of miles without any clue where they're going into what is described as a barren desert with no signs anywhere in sight. Lizzie complains about being in the back seat between Luke and Clay, who are described as wrestling with each other. At one point, Luke starts pinching Clay. Please make mental note of this now. Dad yells at the kids to, quote unquote, chill out, and stress fractures begin to appear in Lizzie's likability when she tells her father that no one says chill out anymore, but seeing as she is a child, she is allowed to be both wrong and stupid. Lizzie then describes her father as a fat wrestler with a round face and thinning blonde hair, and the rest of the family as tall, pale, and having thin black hair. Also, Dad's a banker. This information will not matter at all, so please take a moment to shunt it from your brain. All good? Okay. More words happen until Dad pulls the car over to the side of the road to look for the map in the glove compartment. Then, suddenly, a monster attacks from the sunroof.
Gasp.
Questions, comments, concerns about Chapter 1.
I'm concerned about the wrestler dad.
Yeah.
I hope he does okay.
Yeah.
You might think it matters that he looks nothing like his family, but it does not.
No, I thought the same thing, but it seems to, if anything, it just seems to be a slight nod that maybe the kids are from a different marriage.
Maybe there's some stepchildren. I would like to say right here and now that Luke is officially a fucking freak. That kid's a fucking freak. I truly did think that.
It's true. It's honestly, earnestly, truthfully, Luke. What the fuck, my guy?
He is referred to as a total ghoul.
Yes. Not a cool ghoul who's everybody's pal.
No, a total ghoul.
All right, Chapter 2. Despite being the calm one, Lizzie has lost her mind and confused a roadside animatronic billboard for a real, alive monster. But we should cut her some slack, considering this gigantic, detailed, moving sign in the middle of what has been repeatedly described as a barren desert went completely unnoticed by her parents, who parked directly beneath it. No wonder they're lost. It turns out the sign is for a park called HorrorLand, which we can all agree sounds fucking incredible.
That sounds dope.
It's I mean, we're going there. The kids all go apeshit, demanding HorrorLand, with Luke kicking and pulling his dad's seat. This is why he'll never be the calm one. The parents acquiesce, and after a paragraph break, the car arrives at the front gate to HorrorLand. The crew unloads and makes their way to the front of the park. Dad notices the parking lot is nearly empty, and Mom doesn't get a sign that reads, "The HorrorLand Horrors welcome you to HorrorLand." Adults, am I right? Anyways, that's when the car just fucking explodes.
It's true. It's real.
It's real.
If you were worried about this book not being like good to read, or thought maybe there was a chance it was just going to be like the last one, nah, man, the car fucking explodes. It really explodes.
Yeah.
The car is gone. The car is like, I talk about it at the beginning of my next chapter, but It's legit.
The TV show, by the way, the whole time we were
Oh
like,
my
blow
God.
the
Oh my
car
God.
up, blow the car up.
And then we'll talk about it. Oh, they did not have the budget.
No, they did not. We were the whole time we were waiting, like, and now's the part where the car explodes, right? And then now the car explodes, right?
Right. Now it's
You know, I gotta hand it does feel a bit like R.L. Stine. My vision for how this book was written is like R.L. Stine finished the last chapter of You Can't Scare Me and then kept writing like directly after that, and like maybe in his mind he had just reached the halfway point of one extremely long novel, right? Like maybe he's not writing for plot. Maybe R.L. Stine doesn't have plot in his mind when he's writing. He's just putting, letters in order on paper and making sentences. And so like, he was just sat down and wrote for like 3 hours, I assume. Mm-hmm. And at 1 hour 30 minutes, right, he was like, okay, I'm halfway there. And then he gets to the third hour, right, and gets to the end, and he looks back and was like, oh shit, I wrote 2 books accidentally.
Oopsies.
And maybe that's why the first book is so fucking boring. And I put all of my action in the second book, which literally begins with a giant animatronic monster fucking truckosaurusing.
And then the second chapter where a car just fucking explodes.
Alas, not with our main characters in it, but still, nevertheless.
Yeah, we could have done without Luke for the rest of this book.
What if it was just like, and then all the characters died, the end, chapter.
Oops.
Oops.
The rest of the book is just blank pages.
Yeah.
Chapter 3. Of course, it turns out Lizzie just saw a reflection of the sun on the car's windshield and thought it exploded. Right?
Yeah.
Or someone set off a firework near the car? No, dear listener, this is not a fake out. Jovial Bob is on that Michael Bay shit. The family stare at the burning wreckage of the vehicle they were just in minutes before and contemplate their mortality for a few seconds until that's boring. Dad might be going through the first few stages of grief, but the kids have shot straight to acceptance because there's a HorrorLand to be seen, god damn it. Everyone heads to the gate as Dad demands a phone from one of the HorrorLand's resident horrors, a green monster with bulging yellow eyes, who tells him the park doesn't have phones, but assures the family in a low, grumbly voice that they'll be properly taken care of. I want to note that during this conversation and presumably when the car exploded, there have been loud blares of organ music that I can only imagine sound like this. So,
yes,
an accurate representation of the car exploding was something like this.
And they're like, yeah, let's go to the theme park, though.
Yeah, like, yeah, theme park time. Okay. Well, we came all this way.
I mean, what else did you guys want to do? Did you want to? I mean, I could go for.
I'm a bit peckish. I think I could.
There's one horror in the background that's like waiting for them to start talking. So I was thinking about getting it.
Yeah, but yeah.
Wait, how do I do? Take me out to the ball.
You're one row over.
That's how they do it. That's how they sing it in HorrorLand, I'm pretty sure.
All right. I'm having too much fun with this. Anyway, Anyway, the parents decide to let the presumably 12-year-old children that's a big leap on my part.
That's a big if. At least one of them's not, I think.
The 12-year-old children wander the park by themselves after they narrowly avoided an assassination attempt because they're terrible parents. The kids wander into Werewolf Village where they see a sign that reads, "Welcome to Werewolf Village," and get surprised when they see a werewolf.
Oh, no. Who could have called that?
They also see a green monster holding an actual human's head.
Yes, they do. Yes.
A good moment.
A good moment. The show, I think, actually elevates that moment.
Yeah.
Now, it does not have Werewolf Woods, but I think it elevates it.
It turns it into what is good for that moment in the story.
Yeah.
This really is coming off as a joke, but those those graphics are pretty fucking good. Like that whatever they're doing with the animatronics there is pretty impressive.
I mean, they're doing this. They do the same thing here with the werewolf. Like they're like, well, the werewolf is a pretty cool animatronic or whatever. It's just that the werewolf doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
so
just like all it does is edge. You know, it's described as being behind a shed edging.
Yeah.
So
he's like, this is an author insert character.
R.L. Stine both predicted the advent of Halloween Horror Nights and also edging.
It was him the whole time.
It was him all the whole time.
This is my true legacy, not Goosebumps, which I detest, but the edging werewolf, which is my spirit creature.
You know what happens when the werewolf finishes edging?
Yeah.
Just organ music comes out. Chapter 4, I don't want to be that guy, but Lizzie has spent a considerable portion of this book freaking out, in some cases justifiably so, but still I must question her title of The Calm One. Lizzie screams at the sight of the wolf and jumps back, prompting the wolf to just leave. Okay. The kids continue exploring the park and find a sign that reads, Doom Slide! Will you be the one to slide forever? Don't threaten me with a good time. The gang make their way to the slide and see another sign. Warning! You may be the one to slide to your doom! Don't threaten me with a good time. The kids make their way to the top of the mountain-shaped building and see a row of numbered slides. One of the HorrorLand horrors watching over the slides tells the kids to not pick the Doom slide because you'll slide down forever and ever. Stop threatening me with a good time. Questions, comments, concerns about chapter 4?
I would like to make one point, and I know why you didn't put in your summary, because I know that when I read it, I also thought, I don't know why this is here. The no pinching sign.
Yes. Oh, I totally forgot to put that. Yeah.
In this chapter, they pass a no pinching sign.
Yes. Thank you for picking that up.
This will be important.
I meant
this will be
to put
important
that in
later.
There. Yes. It is actually I wanted to say a call and response, a callback. it is reference
setup payoff.
Yes. It is of critical importance.
Also, I couldn't read Doom Slide without thinking it's a Doom Slide.
It's a Doom. I made that fucking joke on my stream when we all read this live, and no one got it. Like,
man, fuck.
I was like,
we're old.
Can you have this horror?
We are old.
We are
officially.
Chapter 5, quote, I choose slide number 3 because 3 is my lucky number, says Lizzie, which is exactly the kind of thing I'd expect the daughter of a banker to say. The next 100 words describe the act of a child going down a slide.
Yes.
Yep.
We have arrived.
It is. Luke and Lizzie pop out at the other end, but Clay is nowhere to be seen. Did he, in fact, go down the Doom Slide?
He got
and
doom
is
slided.
he, perchance, doomed to slide forever? Luke and Lizzie make their way back to the top of the building and ask one of the HorrorLand horrors who responds to those questions with, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah, man, I don't know.
My note for this chapter was, wow, sounds like a sweet slide.
Yeah, fucking sick.
That's like a pretty...
Whenever we talked about Doom Slide, throughout these entire chapters, I was playing the Mick Gordon fucking Doom soundtrack.
A lot of HorrorLand, it seems, involves slides. It seems to me that R.L. Stine maybe hadn't been to an amusement park in at least a decade.
Which is funny because you could tell Jacobus had.
Yes.
Because the cover actually has like legit like rides and a Ferris wheel and like a coaster and stuff.
And R.L. Stine could only envision slides.
Yeah, meanwhile, Jovial Bob is here. The kids, the park, an amusement park where kids get together and play stick and ball.
Yeah.
Now, so I'll say this now. This is a good place to put this. R.L. Stine apparently did draw a whole map of Horrorland for his own like mental imaging of it. So a map exists.
I think I would too, not just for world building, but I think it's good in this situation to like kind of get an idea of like the space. Like, okay, if they pop out of the Doom Slide here, they would go over here, and then maybe the vampire village would be over here, and like
there is a good deal of time spent talking about where things are in relation to one another.
Yeah.
Which may be a direct consequence of R.L. Stine spending an hour making a map and being like, well, God damn it, I'm going to talk about this.
Mario, here's the thing. I would much prefer that over him laboriously, extensively talking about a child getting the board to get on the slide.
Yeah.
Sitting down on the board to get on the slide. Getting up to the slide.
You weren't enthralled?
Starting to slide. Going down the slide. Continuing to go down the slide. Sliding to the left. Sliding to the right. Sliding straight.
Take it back now, y'all.
Sliding to the left again. And then eventually finishing the slide.
Now, there are a couple chapters. This is not the only chapter where R.L. Stine does this.
I know. That's why I'm setting it up, baby. So chapter 6, quote, I love it. He's sliding forever. Says Luke dejectedly. Sliding, quote, sliding forever and ever on the doom slide. Lizzie hits back with, and I quote, "That's dumb."
Yeah, it is.
It's true. Yeah, no, I'm doing chapter 6. And the two decide to find Clay by going down the same slide he went down, possibly to their doom. Let's find out on the next episode of Gooseball Z.
So time for another chapter where we go on a slide again. R.L. Stine said, do I do it once and you can do it twice?
I have a bad feeling about this slide, guys.
Chapter 7, the next 100 words describe the act of children going down a slide. Except this time, the slide's going on for longer, and also a part of the slide is on fire, and the kids are hurtling straight toward it and are going to burn alive. Anyway, chapter 8, the kids fly through the flames, through the fire and the flames, and nothing happens because they're fake. Neato. Then the slide ends, and the kids learn that life is full of lies. Anyway, they find Clay next to a sign that reads, "Welcome to Doom! Population 0 humans." Luke punches Clay in the stomach as a sign of affection. The kids try to figure out what to do next and pass signs that read, "Horror Rapids" and "House of Mirrors." Luke wants to go to the House of Mirrors, and as they start heading there, a HorrorLand horror taps Lizzie's shoulder and whispers, "Get away while you can. Please, I'm serious. Get away while you can." I'm sure this is an event worthy of an end-of-chapter cliffhanger and won't be dismissed within the first few sentences of Chapter 9.
I don't know why that's here. In the show, that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not good in the show either, but it makes more sense. I don't know why one of these horrors suddenly is like, I actually don't like when we murder kids.
I actually don't like when we murder all of the kids. Oh, your parents are definitely getting spirited away, turned into
Like,
pigs.
hey, get out of here. I'm not going to explain what I mean, but do get out of here, please.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
I don't like these foreigners mucking up my beautiful park.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And when I went to Busch Gardens, that's one of the reasons I don't like it. Is a bunch of the people there who were working there came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder and told me to get the fuck out.
Man, hey kid,
Really?
Get the
Kid,
fuck
fuck
out.
off.
Get the fuck out of here. Can you fuck off? Just like leave. Just leave.
Just leave.
Just leave.
Wait, I can do it. I
Just
can do
leave.
it. Just leave.
Yeah. This is this podcast is gradually turning into Matt Berry.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm here for it as well. I like it as well. So chapter 9. When we last left, a horror had warned Luke, Clay, and Lizzie to get out while they still can. Lizzie was so stunned that she didn't say anything, but watched as off he fucked. Clay asked what the horror had said, and Lizzie repeated the warning. Luke laughed and said, "These horror guys are great. They really try to scare you in this place." The children reflected on whether the warning was for serious and for real, decided that it was a joke, and surmised that issuing cryptic warnings is part of the horror's job description. Luke interrupted this reverie to suggest that the group check out the House of Mirrors before Mom and Dad appear and end the visit. The children proceeded to a sign reading, "House of Mirrors, reflect before you enter. No one may ever see you again." Surely they will reflect after they enter as well. The boys had hurried inside ahead of Lizzie, who entered a dark tunnel. She found herself in a narrow corridor of mirrored walls and a mirrored ceiling, surrounded by her own recurring reflection, repeating into the distance. Lizzie called on for the boys and heard giggling in response. She repeated her summons, and her return was more giggling, this time on the other side of the mirrored wall. Trying to enter what she thought to be a narrow opening, Lizzie instead bonked her head on solid glass. I hit my head, she declared aloud, and heard in response the laughter of Clay and Luke, their voices now behind her. Walking with her hands stretched ahead of her, Lizzie searched for an exit. She entered another room, this time with a mirrored floor, so that she now felt she was inside a mirrored box, struggling to walk against the illusion of standing on her own sneakers. She called out for the boys and was horrified to receive no response. Clearly it is because they're lost or something and not a lame end of chapter gag. Chapter 10. Until they did respond, LOL. They were playing a little Goosebumps chapter ender joke. They called out for Lizzie to find them, and Lizzie proceeded through the mirror maze. She entered a section with angled mirrors that distorted the recurring reflections, and the lights grew dimmer. Lizzie ran into another mirror and was very ready to leave this terrible place. She turned a corner and found Luke. Calling to the boys that she wanted out, Clay stepped into view and admitted he was also lost. Lizzie moved towards Luke, but was stopped when she realized they were separated by a pane of clear glass. Clay was also isolated in his own room. Lizzie made a circuit of the room and realized she had made a circle without finding an exit. She made the circuit a second time and began to panic aloud. Luke began pounding on the glass without effect. Lizzie returned to the glass wall and tried to play it cool, feeling it was her duty as the older sibling to be cool. She leaned on the glass separating her and Luke, and it began to move. Lizzie realized the walls were closing in and abandoned her post as the cool older sibling, beginning to scream for help. Backing up, and the boys shouted in response that their rooms were also shrinking. "Oh no, they're all going to be crushed," she shouted. Chapter 11. Lizzie backed up until there was no more back to up. She briefly visualized a crushed car, like in the darkest part of the brave little toaster.
Yes.
The walls pressed into her, tighter and tighter. She was going to be crushed into a square, like in the darkest part of the brave little toaster. Yes, this chapter is actually over already. I was in the Indy 500.
Hey, I'm just going to say real quick, sliding on a slide, not a great way to spend a chapter. Wandering a hall of mirrors where nothing is happening, also not a great way to spend a chapter. I mean, I like this book, but RL, come on, man.
Dude, saving grace, this book has some of the shortest chapters.
That's true.
Any fucking Goosebumps book. Like,
I would say at least stuff is happening.
Yeah. The whole time I was just so thankful that stuff was happening, even though it's like, it's not like super engaging, but it's definitely better than I walked to this place and looked for someone and didn't find them.
Yeah.
Which is the typical, like the bulk of food substance of Goosebumps. There's actually like descriptions in here trying to put you in the place of being in the Hall of Mirrors. And if you were an imaginative child, you might actually get something out of that. So, chapter 12. Instead of compressing them into meat cubes, the floor dropped out and the group was shitted out of the ride.
Damn.
Luke and Clay got up and began celebrating their undeath. An enthusiastic Luke suggested they find another ride, but Clay and Lizzie agreed it was way too scary. Luke argued that actually it rules that the rides make you think that you're about to die. Super effective strategy. This briefly convinced Clay, but the sensible part of his mind caused him to wonder aloud that the mechanisms which create such spooks could fail with disastrous consequences. To this surmise, Luke had no retort. Lizzie asked him what would have happened if the floor hadn't dropped away at the right moment. After searching for an answer, Luke responded lamely that they make sure everything works okay. His faith in the system having been restored, Luke insisted that HorrorLand is just the place for him. A horror approached from behind with a claw full of black balloons. Luke asked the horror if anyone had ever died in the park, and he answered, "Only once. One person..." Yes. Asked, "One person died here?" And the horror said that was not what he meant. Luke asked what this meant, and the horror said, "A person can only die once here. No one has ever died twice." Yeah, but what about the... Yeah, but what about the died once part? Yeah.
I thought this was cute.
I
thought this was cute.
I laughed. It was goofy.
Yeah. Chapter 13.
No one could ever die twice.
How does one die? I've died like 20 times. You know, you die a million times before you ever get in trouble. That's what I want to say.
Right.
Also, have you considered cats? Has no one considered cats here?
Whoa!
Come on, guys. Come on, guys. What are you doing?
Yeah, they get to die several times. Lucky bastards.
Fuckers.
Those lucky bastards.
Why do cats get everything? This is bullshit.
It is.
Although if they generally live to about the age of 14 and they get to die 7 times, that means they've got they just live 2 years at a time, huh?
Wait, are cats just really stupid? Is that why they keep fucking dying all the time?
I mean,
I think
maybe they need those extra lives.
Or,
Let's put it that
or
way.
maybe
That's
it's
what I'm saying.
maybe the stupidity arises from the lack of consequences because by the 7th one they're like, I guess I'll never die.
Yeah.
And the last one is the one that takes.
We're just talking. This is just Puss in Boots, the last Puss in Boots movie. This is literally the plot of it.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Great fucking movie.
I haven't seen it. Do you need to watch it though?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so fucking good. There's a moment. Oh my god, I keep watching it over on. It's also has shockingly some of the best fight choreography I've ever seen. One of the best fucking antagonists in any movie. What is it? It's Puss in Boots 3.
The Last Wish.
The Last Wish. Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Also, it has one of the funniest antagonists who is just. I mean, there are a bunch of antagonists, but one of them is just, I think it's voiced by John Mulaney, I think.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
And, he's just playing a fucking awful, terrible human being, and he does not give a fuck, and it's great. It's fucking, it's so good.
Big recommendation to watch the Puss in Boots movie. I will try to watch it myself.
It's legitimately good.
It looked good.
Yeah.
Chapter 13. Lizzie shouted, "Do you mean people have really died here?" The horror responded by fucking off. The group discussed whether he was joking before passing a family with 2 crying children.
Wait. What did he do again?
He fucked off. The horror responded by fucking off. The group discussed whether he was joking before passing a family with 2 crying children. Luke and Clay, blissfully lacking in self-awareness, criticized the other boys for their display of emotion. Lizzie insisted that it was time to find the parents and leave, to which Clay quickly agreed. Luke disagreed, having decided he was fully Joker-pilled, but the group began to walk towards the entrance anyway. On the way, they passed an old wooden roller coaster with a sign reading, "Out of order. Do you dare to ride it anyway?" Lizzie declined Luke's invitation to ride it anyway. The trail curved under a sudden wood, and a sign warned them to beware of tree snakes. Were there really snakes up there? If one does appear, it will signal the end of a chapter. It might be the most common event in this series to do so. Journeys end with lovers meeting. Goosebumps pause with snakes appearing.
Watch out for tree snakes!
Dude.
There you go. Yeah. Sorry, I was a little late on that one.
No, you had to let it land.
No, actually, that worked better.
Okay.
The group began to hear hissing and started running. They continued running even after they escaped the wood. The trail was now lined with stone statues of grinning monsters, eyes narrowed menacingly, arms outstretched to grab somebody. After becoming aware that the statues were issuing evil laughter, the 3 continued running to the entrance. They came upon a sign with an arrow pointing in the direction they were headed, which read, "Front exit, don't bother, you will never escape." Lizzie declared this was only a joke. Without warning, Luke jumped on Clay's shoulders and asked him for a ride. Clay told him to get off, but Luke hung on. They began wrestling, these buffoons. Lizzie dragged her brother up.
These goofballs.
Oh, boys.
Boys will be
You
idiots.
clowns.
Get back to the circus, clown. They passed a red barn with a rectangular flower bed filled with black flowers. A sign nearby stated simply, "Bat Barn." Lizzie,
Friggin' bats.
yeah, just no ornamentation, no commentary.
It's friggin' bats.
I love Halloween.
Exactly. Thank you, Bob.
You're welcome.
Lizzie shivered with the near universal fear of girls and a bat being in their hair. They stepped into the barn and were overcome by a sour smell. They then heard a rapid flutter of wings and something brushed the back of Lizzie's neck. Oh my god, it's gonna happen. Chapter 14. "Go away!" Lizzie screamed, swinging her hands wildly above her head. Surrounded by the flapping of wings, they began to run to the open barn door. They were beset on all sides by hissing and flapping of wings. Then the thing happened, and one of the bats became tangled in Lizzie's hair. Oh God, the pinnacle of Lady Horror has occurred. She shoved the bat from her hair, and they trundled towards the door under a cloud of abuse by the shrieking airborne purveyors of rabies. A note. We here at Gubba Bumps, Thou Canst Not Instill in Us Fright are firmly bat positive.
Gubba bumps.
Gubba
bumps.
Can you
Gubba
say that
bumps.
again?
We here at Gubba Bumps, thou canst not instill us in fright, are firmly bat positive.
All right, I need to make the sister channel. God damn it!
I love bats, and this would have been a dope place to visit them. Now, I would say that they probably should clean up the guano that's making it smell, but nonetheless.
And definitely make sure that none of those bats. Although, wait, can you only make sure if an animal has rabies by killing it?
Correct.
Oh, well. Now I don't want them to check for rabies. Just leave the bats alone. How about that?
Let's leave the bats alone. Yeah.
Unless you've got a rabies shot, then you can not leave them alone to your heart's content. I wrote here without being too worried about this. I said, I think without having verified this ahead of time that we like bats. Go watch a video of an Australian woman rescuing flying foxes.
Yeah.
They're just little dogs. They're little dogs. Very cute, very wholesome.
They're extremely adorable.
Don't handle bats yourself without having been vaccinated for rabies, or if it becomes known that you have done so, they will be killed.
You got to be really careful.
Anyway, back to the Gubba Bump. Chapter 15. Lizzie finally reached the door, and it opened at her touch. Sunlight flooded the barn and revealed that there were no bats in the barn at all. The rafters were bereft of life. Walking out into the sun, Lizzie declared her hatred of bats. Luke stated it was all special effects, and Lizzie denied this. One got tangled in my hair, she said. Luke declared he was almost scared. Lizzie retorted that he had been screaming his head off, and Luke, eager to reinforce his reputation as a piece of shit, announced that he was just screaming like that to scare others.
Sure, dude.
We all knew or were this kid at some point.
Yeah.
Lizzie called Luke a liar, and Luke responded by sticking his tongue out. Lizzie reflected on her earnest desire to punch his lights out, but settled for punching his shoulder. Luke howled in protest. You're stupid, Lizzie. You're really stupid, he muttered. And you're afraid of pretend bats. Dissed horribly. They asked two horrors whether the path they were on led to the entrance, but the horrors seemed not to notice them. They saw 4 teenagers in bathing suits approaching a large brown pond, next to which was a sign reading, Alligator Pond, feel free to swim here. Luke laughed, asking aloud whether the teens were crazy. They continued towards the entrance, passing the Doom Slide, and entering the wide circular plaza. They spotted their parents near the stone fountain, but it was actually someone else's parents. How dreadful. How embarrassing. This is true horror.
How embarrassing.
True horror.
Yeah, like accidentally asking a stranger or calling them the name of a loved one.
Mm-hmm.
Dreadful. The 3 ran around the plaza. Hearing the wolf howls from the werewolf village, the ice cream cart stood deserted near the entrance of the Doom Slide. The group wondered where their parents were and decided to go back into the park to look. Passing the Doom Slide, 2 green-costumed horrors with bulging yellow eyes appeared. Lizzie asked if the horrors had seen their parents and described them. Oh yeah, said one of the horrors. They left about a half hour ago. Lizzie expressed confusion and disbelief. They asked us to give you a message, the horror said. Goodbye.
Ha ha.
Fucking got him.
I was waiting for the organ hit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Say it again.
The horror said, goodbye.
Let me know when you want me to stop.
Just a little bit more.
Okay.
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 That's a real yes and.
Now that's a real yes and.
Yes, and you're welcome.
Chapter 16.
You can owe me.
Being spirited away on a death slide, crushed into a cube by a shrinking room, beset by snakes and bats, misidentifying a stranger with a term of endearment, abandonment by one's parents. There is so much kid horror in this Goosebumps book. It really feels like it's trying to make up for prior books. Just an apology.
The R.L. Stein apology tour.
I'm sorry about You Can't Scare Me.
Look,
I'm sorry about that book I wrote. What I wrote.
And the podcast that's going to happen in 30 years. Lizzie protested that the parents would not leave, and the horrors reaffirmed that the parents had left before fucking off themselves. The children debated what to do. I guess that's their job, Luke said, telling us lies to scare us to death. That's why they call it HorrorLand. They should call it, says Clay, Dumbland.
Fucking got him.
Fuck!
Insert super hot fire crowd screaming.
Can't believe it.
Super
Fucking
hot
absolute.
fire.
Just burn it down. Just burn the whole place down.
After debating about the truth of the leaving of the parents, the kids wandered through the park for what seemed like hours. They traveled through dark, mysterious woods, strange monster villages, and a carnival area with dozens of scary-looking rides. On the other side of the vampire village was a building marked Plasma Pizza, Vampire Village, Monster Zoo. They could hear horrifying grunts, howls, and moans issuing from the building. They also passed a long yellow building with a sign that proclaimed, Guillotine Museum, please hold on to your head. Please, Real Stein, make these into Goosebumps books. Don't just leave all these ideas.
Goosebumps, the guillotine.
The guillotine. I guess you could say, I sort of died.
Don't lose your head.
I kind of died. Also, I really like the truth of the leaving of the parents.
The truth of the leaving of the parents.
Also, yeah, I got a Goosebumps book for you. How about Spooky Divorce?
Spooky Divorce.
Spooky Divorce.
Mom's new boyfriend. The truth of the leaving of the parents. Read by Wayne June.
Read by Wayne June. Read by Wayne June.
Read by Matt Berry.
Matt Berry.
The truth
You can
of
monster.
the living of the parents.
Scared you can daddy.
The truth of the truth of the leaving of the parents. Of the leaving of the parents.
Every time someone says Matt Berry, I just immediately go back to that skit of when he's like talking to women and the moment they say that they have a boyfriend, he like,
fuck you.
Fuck off.
You. It's the one where he's like helping that lady move into an apartment with that like aquarium.
Yeah.
And it's the second she goes, my boyfriend, he goes, fuck you. Fucking tosses it and shatters it everywhere. And then he runs. He like takes off.
I also think of when he is talking about the swing set that he has built, but he says that I have erected. I have erected.
You can't scare me. Matt Berry Appreciation Station.
Matt Berry Appreciation Club. Yeah. So at Guillotine Museum, HorrorLand was surprisingly empty, including all the food stands and restaurants. The group found themselves by the alligator pond. Luke wondered aloud if the alligators had eaten their parents. They spied 2 alligators floating as they do. Standing by the edge of the water, they argued about the location of the parents. As they argued, Lizzie felt strong hands push her into the alligator pond. That's actually what the hands were doing, and not a loathsome end of chapter lie. End of chapter 16. I
would like to note right here that I wrote the sentence at the end of this, if this is a brother scare, ... So that's where I left that thought, right?
Well, good news for you, Mark.
Because I take over now, and I get to say this. Shock! R.L. Stine engages in perhaps his one true fake-out of this book, and, aware of the gravity of this moment, also makes it his first ever dad scare. Gentlemen, we are in a brave new world. That's right.
The one true fake. Dude, I had a fucking chapter where the kids were hurtling toward the fucking part of the slide that was on fire. They were describing the flames, the heat of the flames on
No, Bob. Bob, I understand what you're saying. They did not die. You are, of course, correct. And that is, I mean a fake out wherein, for example, the kid from Monster Blood is like, oh my god, a horrible figure is going to kill me. It was my cat.
All right.
I'm talking about a fake out. I'm talking about an R.L. Stine just says, fuck you.
A true bomb.
How do you confuse someone touching your shoulder or like grabbing your arm with pushing you
into an alligator pond? Yeah.
You wouldn't.
I don't understand.
It's only with the magic of writing it on purpose, loathsomely.
It's only the magic of writing it bad on purpose.
Do you think
Goosebumps written bad on purpose?
I don't think I've heard R.L. Stine like laugh, but I think that maybe the only time in his life he laughs is when he writes these, and I'm guessing it's probably actually scary to hear him laugh.
R.L. Stine's laugh is what you hear moments before you die.
Hello.
It's really low and guttural. It's like,
hello, I'm R.L. Stine. Prepare to die.
Prepare to die.
By the way, the audiobook is available for free to people on Spotify for One Day at HorrorLand. I suggest you listen to even just the first minute of it, because we get probably the most immaculate R.L. Stine. Hello, I'm R.L. Stine.
Hello,
I forgot.
I'm R.L. Stine.
I forgot what he sounded like.
It's great to hear.
He's
always love to hear him,
and it's so good to hear it.
It's so good to hear his voice.
You have no idea. I have dreams about it.
Gentlemen, We are in a brave new world of dad scares. That's right, Mom and Dad are back. They've somehow searched the entire park 12 times without ever finding the kids.
What?
Seems calling down on that, Mom. Lizzie is so relieved because she has apparently spent the last dozen chapters envisioning them being brutally murdered. But after all, it is Horrorland. If you're here, your family is probably dead.
When you're here, your family is probably dead.
Is probably
Is that what you're going for, Mario?
Yeah, if you're here, your family is probably dead.
I was like, is that okay? All right.
Here, I'll do that right again. Here you go. It is Horrorland. If you're here, your family is probably dead.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Mom and Dad reveal that indeed there are no phones here. I'm sorry, actually I wrote Mom and Dad reveal that indeed there are no phone here, but that the doors have all been exceedingly nice, which let's pause and take a minute to appreciate this kind of customer service. Mom and Dad are told to just come to the ticket office when they want to leave. Mom asks Luke the most loaded question ever. Did you ride any rides? Having no sense of self-preservation, Luke says they did a lot of stuff. Which wild to me that Luke does not die in this moment. Like, if I told my mom, who was like, I've been looking for you for hours, I've wanted this part 12 times, and she was like, did you ride any rides? And I said, yeah, I rode a bunch.
I had a great time.
I would get the fucking shit kicked out of me. Like, I mean this sincerely. With all love and respect to my mother, violence would have occurred. Somehow, also, anyway, Lizzie wants to just eat lunch and then leave, which is wild to imagine we are still thinking about eating lunch in this scenario. But in a moment which stretches credulity, Mom and Dad refuse to leave without trying one ride. Ignoring the free-fall cordless bungee drop, they decide to take the coffin cruise as the river flows towards the front of the park. The gang are placed into actual satin-lined coffins and set adrift, which sounds dope as hell, but what do I know? Even Lizzie finds this scenario relaxing, but wonders why she has a feeling of impending doom. It's because you are literally in a place called Horrorland, Lizzie. That's why.
Floating downstream in a coffin.
What?
Yeah.
That's three things.
That's three things. Chapter 18, the classic Arlstein chapter we added to meet a quota. The gang drifts pleasantly along, observing a bird, and Lizzie calls Luke a monster, but nothing at all happens of any interest until the coffin lid slams shut. Chapter 19.
My God. My God.
The beauty of having rides is that Arlstein can describe the part of the ride where nothing happens.
Yeah, exactly. See, a cool idea for this book would have been like every chapter is like a different ride at Horrorland, and like I like that idea. But also Lazy River, but with coffins, is like what?
That was the horrors were kind of running out of ideas on that one. They're like, Lazy River,
Lazy Dead River,
Lazy Dead River, Lazy River, but scary. How do we get scary? The boats are coffins.
Okay,
Beautiful.
okay. Here's an idea. What if we get inflatable tubes and we put people in them and they float down just like Lazy River, but halfway through we shoot them with the high-powered scoped rifle?
How about we just fucking kill them?
No warning.
We fucking kill them.
And then they die.
We call it Snipers River Cruise, and we let them know there are snipers.
Watch out, you might get shot.
Watch out, you might die.
No, legit.
From a bullet.
Parenthetical. No, legitimately, we're not kidding around here.
Not fucking around.
You will fucking get shot with a goddamn bullet.
It's Squeal Team 6.
Thank you.
That's the best I could think of for a monster name for SEAL Team 6.
Appropriate because
Squeal Scream 6.
Yeah, what are you doing? Come on.
Fuck.
Says a member of the Scream team. Jesus
God,
Christ. Come on.
I'm an idiot.
Also, I do like the Squeal reference because once we get to the TV episode, holy fuck, there's a lot of pig squealing.
Yeah.
Pig squeal sound effects all up in that shit.
Chapter 19. Lizzie repeatedly tries to open the coffin lid in a song and dance that is at once familiar to any keen-eared listener or keen-eyed reader. We have reached the classic character pushes against an unmoving door scene. Lizzie shouts, but her screams are muffled. She can, however, hear Clay screaming and soiling himself in the coffin next to hers. Lizzie enters the bargaining phase and begins engaging in some magical thinking. Also, alas, she is quickly taught that she has no power in a world as cruel and uncaring as this one, as the door obstinately remains closed. Lizzie begins acting like the coffin is too hot, and maybe she is suffocating. Impossible, because coffins are, of course, not airtight, nor are they watertight, for that matter. When suddenly, spiders everywhere. I didn't think this at the time, but now I can think of when she's doing her "It's so hot in here" rigmarole. Piss.
It's so hot in here.
That's true. Is that she's like a Tim Robinson character, where she's like, "It's too hot." It's hot? Yeah, it actually is hot. It burns. The steering wheel burned? Yeah, it did burn, but you wouldn't know that.
But you wouldn't care.
You wouldn't care about that. Yeah, it actually is hot.
Move! I don't want to.
I don't want to.
I'm good.
You
good.
yelled. You yell.
There's too much
You just
fucking
wanna
shit
yell.
on me.
You just want to yell. You don't want to
just
yell, but
wanna
you just want to yell. There's too much shit on me. I can't breathe. You can't breathe through the mask? Yeah, actually.
You're missing the part where Lizzie said, "I don't want to be around anymore."
I don't want to be around anymore.
Lizzie gets out of the coffin. It's like, I don't even want to be around anymore.
What have they done to us?
What have they
done to us?
What have they done to us? My life is nothing that I wanted to be, and everything I fear.
Because for about 3 minutes, I thought there was monsters on the world.
For 30 seconds, I thought there was monsters on the earth.
That is probably my favorite piece of comedy. It is so.
My life is nothing that I wanted to be, and everything I fear. Because for 30 seconds, I thought there was monsters on the earth.
I love when the subtitles pop up on that, because
You know what? HorrorLand is literally the complete experience of HorrorLand can be summed up as the pig in a Nixon mask coming to the doggy door.
You were excited because you didn't have to go to work tomorrow.
What have they done to us?
I'm not a fucking idiot. I know that it was a pig in a Nixon mask, but for 30 seconds, I thought that was real.
I thought there was monsters on the world.
Monsters.
I'm not a fucking idiot. I knew that was a pig.
I'm not a fucking idiot.
I know that's a pig in a Nixon mask, but for 30 seconds, I thought I was gonna die. I thought, that's real. That lives with us on Earth.
That exists on Earth. Yeah.
That's real. That's gonna kill me. That lives with us on Earth. Anyway,
back to Corncob TV.
Chapter 20.
Oh yeah, Corncob TV.
Yeah, Corncob TV.
It does eventually show up. Yeah.
Chapter 20. Lizzie struggles to scratch her legs. Spiders everywhere. Chapter 20. Lizzie struggles to scratch her legs, which I think would not really solve her spider problem, but I digress. Suddenly, the lid pops
what would
open.
solve her spider problem?
What's that?
Just stay still.
Just leaving him alone. Don't bother
leave
him.
Alone.
Yeah,
it's totally fine.
They don't eat you. You're not their food.
Also, the coffin again is not watertight, so it will sort itself out eventually. Lizzie struggles to scratch it. So anyway, suddenly the lid pops open, and would you believe it? No spiders were there at all. But apparently, the itchy leg symptoms were a feature of this ride, as Luke too says he thought there were ants in his coffin. Mom and Dad decide that this mildly upsetting scenario is a step too far on the part of HorrorLand and want to complain, but Lizzie just wants to leave. Quote, I don't even want to be around anymore.
This just makes me feel bad for people who have haunted houses and stuff.
Yeah.
Just imagining the amount of time parents would be like, this is too far.
Too
I'm
scary.
gonna complain.
It's like, it's a fucking haunted house. What the fuck did you expect? It's called HorrorLand.
Yeah, it wasn't called Relaxing River Ride.
Fun time house. Yeah.
Alas, all the ticket booths are closed. Who would have guessed? What's more, all the horrors have vanished. Ignoring the no exit, no one leaves HorrorLand alive sign as some kind of false advertising, despite all indications to the contrary, the gang attempts to go to the parking lot gate. To everyone's shock, the gate too is locked. And all I could think right here was because we recently watched the movie Heretic, when Hugh Grant's character is talking to the Mormon missionaries who are visiting him. And one of them says, can you go get your wife, please, after 40 minutes of this movie where obviously his wife is not real. And he's like, I will go through this door if you, despite all indication to the contrary, still believe my wife is real. It's like,
oh, should I watch that?
it's really, it's good. It's a good.
It's
movie.
good. It's good.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's fun. It's fun.
It's that and what was the other one with the cover where it's the lady with her spine that's like The Substance?
Oh, I've heard mixed things with The Substance.
Oh, mixed things? Okay. all right.
I've heard some people really like it. In fact, it's very popular. I've also heard Smile 2 is a secret banger.
I heard Smile 2 is actually really good.
A secret banger.
Yeah, we need to see Smile too.
Yeah, I think Red Letter Media did a video that was like their favorite horror movies of the year, and like they had The Substance on there, but they also had like I don't think they had Heretic, but they had.
I hadn't seen Heretic yet. I don't think.
Oh, okay. They had a bunch of other ones that
They had some on there that I did not agree with, as I recall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
Like
forget
what?
what their list. I forget what their list was like. I forget. It just contained some shit that I was like, I don't know about that.
It's interesting the ones where like I'm like, yeah, I completely agree, and then some of it's like I thought that movie was really loathsome. It's hard to tell. Taste is hard.
Yeah, Substance Oddity. Oh, I saw the TV Glow. Was fucking incredible.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one.
Speak No Evil, The First Omen, Blink Twice, A Quiet Place Day One.
That they liked A Quiet Place. I was like, I don't think I'd. Oh, they put Salem's Lot on there, and I've heard that Salem's Lot, by all accounts, is fucking terrible. So like, I don't really want to see it.
By
so, like,
almost all accounts, apparently.
they put Trap, and I do like Trap. I don't care about Quiet Place at all.
Well, they had Trap on there, but they had it on there as like a ironic thing. They
but I like Trap. I thought Trap was great.
Yeah, they're like,
it was
it's really stupid and implausible. And I was like, it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Yeah,
the beach
like-
that makes you old guy. If you don't already know, not to like be like, don't treat these people like they're humans. M. Night Shyamalan characters don't act like humans. They don't talk like
you know
humans.
what? Actually, no, I did hear the first Omen was good. I did hear that. I haven't seen it, but I heard some people talking about First Omen and they thought it was shockingly good.
Yeah, and Speak No Evil was one that they talked very briefly about it, and some of the trailers they showed, I was like, what the fuck is this movie?
So, Speak No Evil, I will say this. I don't really want to watch it because mostly I would rather, if I'm going to watch it, I'd rather watch the original because it's a remake of a Danish film.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's one of those like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's not really a horror movie. It's I want to fucking leave this theater right now. Yeah.
It's a social horror movie.
Yeah, one of the reasons I was interested in it, maybe just to like look at like what happens or not like look it up or spoil it, but just like kind of get an idea for like where it goes, because they were saying, and other people have said, that Speak No Evil has one of the like it at a certain point the movie just starts fucking going the most extreme route and things go really fucking insane at a certain spot. And it's Blink Twice is another movie that they were talking about that I was really interested in. It's more of like a horror mystery thing.
I know of Blink Twice. I saw an essay. I haven't watched it because I haven't watched Blink Twice, but I saw an essay from a lady on YouTube that I have listened to other things she had said, and I mean, she seems to have a good taste, and she said she did not like the ending of that movie at all.
That sucks, because that's the whole. Oh man, the only way that I would watch that is if the fucking ending nailed it. Oh,
I mean, it might be good, and it might be just her saying it. I don't know, but she did not like it.
Okay.
Anyway,
I
going
will
back
say
to
though, if y'all have y'all seen I Saw the TV Glow?
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Oh yeah,
Thank
it's a
God.
good movie. Yeah, it's very good.
It's a really good movie. I thought the ending was kind of mean. I understand why it's that way. I get it. But like I was like, oh man, please show this person becoming the person they're supposed to be instead of just ending on this like they panic and and there's no I don't know. I want to be happy at the end of the movie. It's a great movie.
And I am not. It's a feel-bad movie.
Yeah.
And,
it's a tragedy.
Yeah, and I think
It's the point of it. Yeah, and I think it's really
the point.
effective.
It's the point. I'm not.
Yeah.
I
It's
get
like a call
it.
to action. It and that's probably what it should be. However, I don't know. You want you want what's best for them.
At the end of Devotion, I wanted things to go a completely different way. But just the way that everything was built and the tragedy that was set up and the mistakes that everybody had made,
It's intentional.
Yes.
These things are
Yeah.
intentionally
Yeah,
done
yeah.
this way, and the writer has a vision, and the director has a vision. It's just it didn't make me feel good selfishly,
and
but
also, well, it's because it's like with the setup of like the Power Rangers-y like Sailor Moon Power Rangers-y thing. I wanted to see where it went after that, but again, that's in the Red Letter Media camp of I wanted the movie to be different.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it would have been cool to see that part, and that was clearly not the point. And I get the point. So
Okay, chapter 1. They can't lock people inside an amusement park, Dad exclaims, apparently suffering from acute onset memory loss, or perhaps terminal incredulity. Luke suggests it is another joke, despite there having been essentially no jokes whatsoever thus far, and Mom and Dad determine there must be another exit. This is a strange place, but we're not in any danger, Dad says, again, apparently having forgotten the part where his car exploded. Dad begins looking for a costume park worker when right on cue, the entire park staff begins walking towards them menacingly. Chapter 22. Bravely, our doomed family stares imminent death in the face, and no one, not even Clay, commits any acts of fecal embarrassment. What luck, then, that in fact the horrors are not there to kill them, but rather inflict a far worse torture, reality television. It turns out that the gang has been unknowingly filmed for the Monster Channel's most popular show, HorrorLand Hidden Camera. It is important to note that there are a lot of great shows on the Monster Channel. Let's take a minute to imagine them.
Oh.
Game of Bones.
There you go.
Parks and Desecration. Yellow Crone, is this anything? Shred Lasso? Baking with Julia. You get it? Because Julia Childs was baking with Julia, but if we're baking with Julia... Anyway.
What about Baking Julia?
No. I like baking... I like the with, like, because you're using Julia as an ingredient.
What about...
Breaking Brad?
I've got a couple.
Monster Cops. Saturday Fright Live, Saturday Fright Dead.
Yep.
Shocks News, like instead of Fox. Young Sheldon.
Yeah.
They would definitely still watch Young Sheldon.
Did you have a TV show?
I had two.
Okay, hit me with them.
All right. Seinfeld is dead. Frasier is dead. How about that? The joke is that they're dead.
Yeah, no, the joke is certainly that they're dead. No, that part, yeah, no, for sure.
What rhymes with mad?
Mad, bad, sad.
So bad men.
Bad men.
Cat.
Gray anatomy?
Gray. Oh, like a gray alien.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Or no, like gray, like rotting meat.
Okay.
I got one. 2.5 Men.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go.
The Last of Pus.
That's good. Is there a Frasier? Frasier is dead, obviously, but like dead Frasier. What is it? Monster Frasier?
Monster Frasier. You
What's
could
that
just add
like?
Monster
Monster before
Monster
anything.
House MD. Monster Dexter.
Monster the Office. The Monster Office. What fun, anywho. The Horrorland Hidden Camera MC reveals that the family has won a brand new car, and all they have to do is walk through the real exit, a yellow door. The family enters the yellow door, and oops, wouldn't you know it, they are on Family Double Dare, Family Double Scare,
there you go.
and must now complete the monster obstacle course, which the MC informs us is very real and very deadly. Chapter 23. The family has 56 seconds, an oddly specific amount of time, to run a gauntlet of many and varied monsters, which all sound very cool, and which will certainly not be appearing on the TV episode. But hey, if you wanted an apology for the last book, here you go. Admittedly, the monsters sound very spooky, including a big gorilla-esque thing with 2 sharp rows of teeth, some giant birds, pig men, fur-covered snakes, lizards, and what I think is a critter. The family stumbles and bumbles in and out of monsters' grasps until finally Lizzie falls to the ground and bangs her head, looking up only to see a giant elephant-like creature about to flatten her. Chapter 24. If you want to imagine a future, imagine half a chapter of a foot slowly moving downwards towards your face.
This was egregious.
Suddenly, a buzzer goes off. Am I alive, or am I only dreaming that I'm still alive? Lizzie wonders. Powerful stuff. The MC announces that time is up, and further, that 3 people have survived. Gasp. Which 2 of our characters have been slain? Chapter 25. Lizzie ponders who could have kicked it. Looking around, she finds that Luke and Clay are alive, so Mom and Dad are... Wait, no, never mind. In perhaps one of the most painful anticlimaxes I've ever experienced, the MC corrects herself, and announces that all 5 have survived. Viewers at home begin writing angry letters, presumably in blood and or slime, and canceling their cable subscriptions en masse. apparently a perfect score has never occurred on the Monster Channel before. Dad is admittedly bleeding from a deep gash in his arm, so that's something, I guess. The family is shunted into the next room, where a crowd of horrors cheer for them. Lizzie reaches out and angrily attempts to remove the MC's mask. Chapter 26.
I wonder what's going to happen.
Wow, I simply cannot believe it. My shock is overwhelming. The HorrorLand horrors are real horrors.
Oh my god.
Yes, monsters are real, and they have been real this whole time. In fact, the MC informs us that nearly 2 million monsters are watching the Monster Channel all over the world, possibly at this very moment. Ponder this and the logistics of it at your leisure. The MC informs Lizzie that HorrorLand isn't a joke, and the monsters take it very seriously. Dad protests about, torturing people, but the MC ends the show. Evidently, the ending of HorrorLand Hidden Camera is throwing the contestants in a big purple pond of muck. Quote, saying goodbye is always sad, so we try to have a little fun with our farewells. And you know what? That's a pretty positive outlook on life for a monster.
Yeah, it's strong.
Yeah. But now the question, will the family jump in, or will they be pushed? Chapter 27. The horrors descend on the family, and they prepare to embrace death when Lizzie comes to a realization and pinches the MC's arm as hard as she can. That's literally the entire summary of this chapter. And that's everything that happens in it. Chapter 28. The mad pincher strikes again. Huh? Lizzie shouts in a classic example of a callback. This is really writing 101, folks. Yep, it turns out the no pinching signs were actually pretty important, as pinching straight up causes monsters to deflate. The family begins to wantonly massacre the horrors who flee for their lives in terror. What a depraved bunch.
The poor, defenseless horrors. Deflated.
Who is...
How, now, boys and girls, how do you think that feels?
Who is the monster here? If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's
maybe we are the monsters.
Maybe man is the
greatest monster of all.
Real
Maybe
monsters.
we're
of
the
all.
Walking Dead.
'Twas beauty that slayed the beast. Anyway, seizing the opportunity,
Who
the
let
family
the dogs out?
seizing the opportunity, the family runs to the parking lot and opts to try to hijack a bus as the horrors follow fast on their trail. Chapter 29. Unbelievably, Dad does in fact know how to drive a bus, and not only that, a monster bus, which he uses to drive the family back home with basically no issue whatsoever. The family arrives home safe and sound under the beautiful light of a full moon. But on exiting the vehicle, they discover a horror! That's right. He has clung to the back of the bus for this whole trip. For revenge? No, indeed. To give them their free passes for next year. R.L. Stine turns to the camera and offers a wry wink. What a stinker.
What a stinker.
What a little stinker.
I will say there are some really interesting things that we glossed over. We kind of went through. One of them was the dad having basically a fucking existential crisis, being like, I'm so when I believe it was when it was revealed that they were all going to die. He was basically like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, if only I just got the fucking map, like none of this would happen. And he was like kind of blaming himself, and it was Lizzie was actually like, yeah, if I remember correctly, she was like kind of like feeling really terrible about that. Also, I like Lizzie kind of in general understanding that like it's being an older sibling, you got to kind of have a little bit of poise. You got to set an example, I guess. I kind of like that, and I think they do something interesting in the TV show with that, where she's a little bit more comforting. I also think that the book, that what the TV show does in general as an overall note, which is getting rid of the fucking third wheel.
Yeah, yeah.
And just having it be just those two, just Lizzie and Luke. Like it kind of makes things a little bit more
streamlined,
a little bit more snappy. So that's basically it. So TV episode. Did you watch this as it aired, correct? You watched the recorded air version. I watched the version you gave me. I did not watch it when I was a child.
Right. I have a copy of this as it was when it aired.
Yeah.
It is on YouTube, actually, so you can just find it.
So yeah, we open up with Seagull City.
Yeah.
It's just
Oh, no. We open up with the abridged opening for Ultimate Goosebumps, that fucking sucks ass.
Yeah, the one that absolutely massacres the fucking amazing Goosebumps song.
Yes.
Fuck that
Sucks shit. But yes,
fucking awful.
goals for days, because of course this is filmed in Canada and they don't have a desert, so they just substitute with a scenic seaside cliff or something.
The beach.
We go into the family station wagon, extreme station wagon, very, very good, to a bunch of sweaty fools.
They're so sweaty. Did you think that the dad looked like Chevy Chase? Because I did.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Very Chevy Chase energy. I think that's probably one of the casting notes they might have had.
I think they were deliberately going for a vacation vibe. I think.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, we basically go into it's pretty accurate to the book, with the exception of we have lost Clay.
He is dead.
As referenced
He died
before, Clay sadly perished.
Also, they're all very Canadian, and Dad is extremely Canadian.
Yes.
Luke, now you know the rules. Don't keep asking me, are we there yet? Because you'll know we're there when we're there.
So yeah, basically everything from the book happens, with the notable exception is that we are locked off. The car is already stopped. Then they start arguing, and then we start moving, and then a billboard starts throwing Hadoukens at the fucking car in a scene that just makes me aghast. Like, this is
it doesn't even
truly
read.
Incredible.
Some people forget, like back in the 90s, there was a lot of things like this where people had an idea and they tried to make it in Video Toaster and with some like rudimentary effects, and it just like really, really doesn't work sometimes. And they're like, well, we spent so much time on this, we have to we just have to keep it in here.
It absolutely does not read in any way. It's horror. Also, I'd like to note, before they get to it, Dad resolves that they're going to get to Zoo Gardens, because Luke is very whiny about it. Yes. And when he does it, extremely funny, like triumphant music begins to play.
Yes.
Like bumpa.
I want to see Zoo Gardens, you promised.
You're right. We did promise. And your mother and I are not going to let you two kids down. If Zoo Gardens is out there, we're going to find it.
And it's like, really? Okay. And then we transition to the woods and the fire effects, and it looks fucking terrible, yeah.
And that's where you get your cut to commercials. I don't know if we wanted to talk about those here.
Bob, I would love to talk about these commercials. Okay. But also, I'd like to talk about the fact that the fire effects are coming out of a literally unoccupied horror mask. Yes. It's just like a static image of a horror mask that no one's wearing. Incredible.
I just don't like. So the monsters can shoot fireballs. That's just, or like I don't. Whatever. Anyway, I hear that it's rock and rollin' Saturday with the Backstreet Boys.
So I have my notes here for I took notes on what the ads were at this time. Okay. So the ad break, we get our first ad break, and this is a weird one because there's not like a frame for the ad break, because this day, October 25th, 1997, that was being hosted by the Horrors. It was Ghoul. It was Ghoulcast.
Yeah.
But this does not have an ad break for some reason with them. We just go straight to, who's the new girl down at the beach? The California Roller Girl. It's a doll that has real roller skates for inline skating. Followed by a trailer for Fairy Tale, A True Story. I doubt that. I doubt that it's a true story, but okay. The Play-Doh Demolition Derby. When you have Play-Doh, anything goes. I remember this commercial. Mm-hmm. I don't remember the other two commercials whatsoever. And yes, the Backstreet Boys are going to be hosting Rockin' Rollin' Saturday next week. Mm-hmm. And they play Quit Playing Games with My Heart in the background. So yeah, we return to the fucking incredible graphic design is my passion ass signage for for HorrorLand.
We've got Welcome to HorrorLand, where nightmares come to life. We've got Main something 100 something. I don't know what that says. I can't read that.
They all look like really bad Ren Fair signage.
Yeah. So this is when you first start to get an idea. Oh yeah, and also drive forward if you bear. Like the fucking font is absolutely atrocious.
Gargoyle laugh.wave.
I think this will be great. The kids will love it.
So this is when I started to get a vibe for the budget of this episode and where maybe that budget had been allocated in certain areas and not allocated in, let's say, set design and location. They are in the middle of goddamn nowhere, basically a road into some fucking like
park or
parking
something
lot in goddamn like a legitimately nowhere. They're adding statues and posts. They're adding like in order to make the parking lot not so fucked up. They have not so obviously not HorrorLand. They have a dude with a monster hand like reach out and touch a tree trunk as the camera pans across. It's just fucking funny. There's no other words for it. So hooray, they're at HorrorLand, and we see a horror put something underneath the car.
Yeah, so I'd like to make a note here, just real quick.
Go for it.
Following Gargoyle Laugh.wave, we also get incredible farty monster music that plays as the family pulls in. It's like, it's really fart.wave. But yeah, they put the fucking penguin remote control device from Batman Returns on their family car.
Yeah, there was a period of like 5 years where everybody was like remote controlling cars. Yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Which would be incredible if at some point the MC of the Monster Channel said, "I played this family like a harp from hell," but he doesn't. It's not that kind of show. Regardless, Brandon and I certainly spent the entirety of the show's runtime waiting for this to be a bomb,
screaming for it to blow the car up. Please.
I was like, oh, they're gonna blow it up when they try to leave, and that's when it's gonna happen.
Oh, that would have been so good.
I also love how the remote control is just a like a black box with an antenna on it and just a spring on the side.
yeah.
Good enough.
Welcome to HorrorLand. There is a capitalized E at the end of welcome. So graphic design continuing to be my passion.
I thought you were doing a Matt Berry.
Welcome.
To HorrorLand.
How many times do you think they had to redo that take of Lizzie saying, "What's a horror?"
The HorrorLand horrors welcome you to HorrorLand? What's a horror?
Because they were like,
oh yeah,
nope, sorry, that's a little too close to horror, Lizzie.
Dude, the entire stream, people kept accidentally doing, so we had to make a thing of it where it's like horror.
Like, what's a horror?
We're going to HorrorLand. We're gonna see the horse.
Yeah,
this is HorrorLand.
Yeah,
this is HorrorLand. Welcome.
They're trying to avoid a nick or treat.
Yeah.
If you want to, well. We should not play it here. But
no, we should not.
There was an event hosted on Nickelodeon called Nick or Treat.
Oh my god!
And if you say it fast,
it's a thing. It sounds
I can so tell much like he's doing it on purpose. It
is so bad that I've seen on TikTok people taking that clip and reacting to it like, what?
I heard what you said.
One more time. I heard what you said. It's bad. It's really bad.
That's one of those. It's like you got to have a pause in there, my guy.
Yeah, you really have to.
Nick or treat.
Like,
yeah, exactly. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's
Okay, so we get a horror, and this horror is done really well.
It's a really good looking costume.
Yeah,
I quite like it, especially this guy who has a striped shirt, a red and white striped shirt with suspenders and a bow tie. This dude, I honestly like the horrors. Like the horrors in here are pretty goddamn good.
I agree. I like them a lot.
Yeah, and one thing you cannot say of the episode, you cannot accuse them of not having ambition. This is extremely ambitious. They probably pushed their budget. They probably pushed themselves to the breaking point.
They have at least...
They had ideas.
I can tell you from the Ghoul cast, they have at least, like, 5 separate horror costumes. I mean, like, in addition to the different kinds of horrors, I mean, like, the generic good-looking costume, they have at least 5 of those. Because, like, they line them all up in the Ghoul cast segments. So, like, that's a lot of time and effort they had to do to make that. But to point, also that guy with the stripes gives them free admission and says, "Have a scary day,"
and gives them finger guns when they leave.
Yeah, he gives them a little finger gun point.
Finger gun, yeah.
They're like, "Which way to go?" And he gives a little finger gun point. Yeah, it's great. And then we get
the Green Goblin,
a much worse looking horror. But I learned just today by linking to the trailer, which you can find on YouTube for the Goosebumps Escape from Horrorland video game, that is the horror costume from that game. That was not made by Fox Kids for the show. That was literally like left over from the game.
From the game. Oh, okay.
So I'm guessing that like they had access to it. I mean, I guess they literally like got it from DreamWorks, or DreamWorks made it in conjunction with like I am pretty sure that same horror costume appears in an episode of Power Rangers in Space. I feel really sure about this. I feel like it pops up in other Fox Kids projects. So I'm wondering if it was made like in conjunction with like Haim Saban or something. Do you know what I mean? That like, because they did make their own costumes for the American Power Rangers, so I'm wondering, this obviously got tossed around. This costume was really a sort of, you know, workhorse costume, but it does look bad. It does look not exactly good. But what looks very good is the severed head that he's holding. They have some great decapitation puns. She says, "Stay off the guillotine ride, sharp turns," and then he like berates her a little bit for talking, and then he goes, "She always likes to stick her neck out where it doesn't belong." Yeah, pretty good stuff.
It's good because also, you know, I'm sure that this raised a lot of eyebrows internally when they're like, there's going to be a part where a guy's carrying a severed human head, so they make it super goofy. It's really charming. I think
it's better than the book version. I think that the head talking is actually a lot better than...
I think they kind of had to make it like less spooky.
Yeah, I mean, it is funnier and therefore less like threatening, but it also makes it feel more bizarre, right? Because like before you could argue it's just a decoration, but now it's like, how'd they do that? You know,
she's the person that didn't die twice.
She is.
Can we get a shout out to the skull that is adorned on top of the CCTV camera?
Yes. I have the same note of little plastic Halloween skull on the security cameras. Also, Dad, we didn't mention this in the books in the synopsis, but the dad letting the kids wander off into an amusement park on their own is the most this book and TV show were made in the 90s thing you could possibly be putting here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That would not fly in a post 2000s piece of media. What happens next?
The kids explore HorrorLand, which I must stress, whatever image of HorrorLand you have in your head, it is decidedly not that.
It's a park.
They are in the middle of the woods. They are using construction paper, big pieces of wooden fence, and cloth to make front, like, sort of entrances to places, and then shooting in different areas with different interiors. So.
It has real your local Ren Fair vibe to it.
Yes,
like
very.
Also the show does illustrate there are other people in the park because like a crying child walks by them or whatever, and the kids are freaked out. And then we meet our dissenting horror, who in the beginning I think he's doing a Peter Lorre voice when he tells the kids to get out. And then Lizzie's like, "What do you mean? What the fuck do you think he means, Lizzie? Get out!" Like fucking I don't know, man. What do you think?
It's a mystery.
Did you guys know that this horror has a name?
Yes, I remember him saying his name, but I don't remember what it was. Like,
It's Bleck.
Bleck, yes, Bleck.
Good name for a horror.
Just FYI, we're going to see him again, but Neil Crone is the person who plays Bleck and also an upcoming horror, as well as the makeup artist horror, which, yeah, we're definitely going to talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one.
You would remember them as the person who played Mr. Chesney in The Ghost Next Door. Shotgun guy.
Oh, the mailman guy.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. He got around. He was a workhorse for this episode for sure.
Also, Luke's actor, Michael Kalos, was also known for voicing D.W. Reed in the PBS animated series Arthur in its first 3 seasons.
That messed me up.
That's correct.
That seriously messed me up.
much.
Learning that D.W., Arthur's sister, is voiced by this dude, like, that fucked me up in a big way. Because also, I'd like to point out, these children are genuinely terrible actors. These children are among the worst we have seen in
They're pretty
Goosebumps.
bad, yeah. But maybe like it's one of those things where they just weren't, they were just like pulled in off the street essentially, or their parents knew somebody.
Well, I mean, evidently he's a decent enough voice actor because I don't recall thinking that DW sounded terrible on Arthur. You know what I mean? So like,
DW sounded like it was a pro voice actor. So
it was
to my
him.
memory,
So,
who knows? It is mysterious how actors get their performances.
No one knows.
But nevertheless, they are bad in this episode of television.
They're very bad.
We skip the doom slide entirely and go straight to the Hall of Mirrors.
Fucking bullshit.
I know. No budget for the doom slide in this episode. Which, like, it's a slide in a dark room. How difficult is that to do? But nevertheless.
When Luke tries to go, when they both try to go into that one, it was across from the House of Mirrors, but Luke's actor kind of playfully hits the one of the decorations, the skull decoration in the building right before they go in, and I was like, "No, don't do that! It's gonna fall off. That's hot glue is not. It's not stable enough, my guy.
It's a load-bearing skull. You can't do that.
Like, please don't."
The mirror scene goes on for way too long. I just gotta say that right now.
And it's very, very funny with a wonderful comp shot of fucking Lizzie just like on her back, like making a motion, like whoa, pretending to fall.
Oh, into the void.
Yeah, into the fucking void.
Into the void.
I do like. Lizzie does a really good pirouette.
Yeah, I noticed that too. As like, what a weird little moment, but it's good. Also, the mirror scene adds in a random mirror monster, which okay,
does not come up later.
Yeah, not explained. Not explained.
He's just there. He's part of it.
He's just there. He's part of it.
I love how nothing in this area, in this mirror, a maze of mirrors, looks stable, and everything looks like it's going to fall over at any moment.
I said here, there's a lot of effort here. It's just not scary and actually pretty boring. So it's an A for effort, but B for but baby's bored. Also, the monster just kind of stands there.
Yeah.
Menacingly, as Patrick Starr might say. Bad scene.
Menacingly, as Patrick Starr would do.
He's just standing there. Menacingly. Ad break.
Ad break. Ooh, is this the first time we get to see the ghouls outside of the horrors?
You are right, Bob. This is our first ghoul cast. Which, by the way, they're calling it a ghoul cast. This is for like broadcast, but it's so hard to imagine that in a world where podcasts now exist. So now I'm imagining that the horrors having a podcast.
Yeah, exactly. Well, isn't that just You Can't Scare Me?
It's just what we're doing. It's the mask off, and I'm a monster too.
Yeah, same.
And I take off my mask, and I'm a lizard person too.
So we cut to the horrors who are holding a skeleton, and they are announcing that we'll be right back. That's really all that happens, but...
So can you tell me what will play at 9:30 a.m.?
Oh, Bob, I can do better than tell you. I can rap it for you. Because they rap the mornings lineup.
Thank you.
It's Sam and Max are up next, and they're on patrol, followed by Louie and his dad. I think they say who's in the know? Then come the X-Men with justice as their goal. Okay, great.
And then they add
Sure.
at the end, because Fox Kids rocks kids, breaking up the rhyme scheme.
Yep. Yeah, also Fox Kids rocks kids. Well, you were just rapping. You weren't rocking anything.
Rap
You
and
just-
rock is the same shit. It's the same stuff.
Fox Kids raps kids.
It's all sounds.
We can't say that. You can't put Fox Kids raps kids on there.
Oh my God. Beetleborgs.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my God. Fucking Beetleborgs. Holy shit.
At this point, apparently we were already in Beetleborgs Metallics, which is wild to think because I don't remember that. I remember that being a much later thing.
Yeah.
But I certainly remember watching Beetleborgs. Fox Kids New November, that's right, because they were talking about New November. Everything in November is new this month, including new episodes of Beetleborgs Metallics. Commercial for precious metals. You melt your own metal and make jewelry. Yep. What the fuck? Is what my comment was. What the fuck? Again, only in the 90s could you have a product where evidently you just superheat metal and then
Create precious gems in your home. Don't burn your home down, please.
This item had to pull up the market like within 3 weeks tops.
Or it was like wax.
It could. Well, it looked. Yeah, it probably wasn't real metal. Truthfully,
It looks like pewter.
maybe it's
It's pooter.
Pooter. Anyway, this commercial actually is a setup callback. We will come back to this. Nickelodeon commercial. I have no recollection of never done doing Nickelodeon being a catchphrase for that network, but I guess it was. The most important fucking commercial I have. Just pause for a second. We're not even talking about Goosebumps anymore. We're now talking about this commercial. It's a commercial for Game.com or Gamecom, a handheld portable gaming device built as the ultimate portable gaming system, in which a person gets up and says he's got a surprise for all the slackers who have nothing better to do than play games and surf the net all day. And he says, like, feast your bloodshot eyes on this, and it's a handheld piece of shit that has speakers, and it begs to be touched, he says to them in a sentence that I don't like. It has a touchscreen, so fucking move over, Nintendo. It has the internet.
It has more somethings than you have brain cells. It says
it has more games than you idiots have brain cells, I believe.
And it pans over. It cuts to a guy, a shot of one of the gamers in the audience looking very dumb.
Yeah.
An interesting commercial.
It plays Duke Nukem, I can tell you that.
In black and white.
Well, there is a picture of Duke Nukem.
Yeah, there's a picture of Duke Nukem, you're right. This is an amazing excerpt from a time when games commercials were directly insulting their audience.
I feel like it's the Sega energy.
It's the Sega energy. Yeah.
It's from that time when like advertisements in game magazines were frequently like, we're going to be so edgy
and toxic.
It's going to be like a picture of like a baby doll set on fire, and it's going to be like, your parents don't even fucking know what this is, and it's Donkey Kong Country.
It's like Sega does and Nintendo don't, and it's Sonic the Hedgehog having sex with a woman. That's the other thing this commercial is missing is there being like a very attractive woman involved in some capacity. That's all that's missing for the complete 90s video game experience.
Yeah, the buy this and you'll get laid.
It's Sonic does and Nintendo, and it's that picture I sent you of Garfield with the huge penis.
Yeah.
Also, thank you for telling everybody. Context.
No context. Give no context.
I will give no. I will give.
Which, thank you, by the way.
As I sent you your weekly picture of Garfield having his balls deflated with high heels.
I wasn't gonna want to be the broach it, but you know.
I feel like giving context to it would only diminish its power.
It's true. That's true.
Here's the thing. I don't actually know the context. We were at a party and someone walked in and pinned this to the refrigerator.
Like they didn't live there? They weren't invited
No, they
to the
did
party?
not live there. They were invited to the party, yes.
Oh, okay,
it was also half torn, so someone evidently made an attempt to destroy it and was stopped.
And she just walked in, put it on the fridge, and like walked out.
So a couple notes about the Gamecom.
Yeah.
It is in fact called the Game.com.
Okay, that sucks.
It's by Tiger.
Of course it is.
The Game.com was the first video game console to feature a touch screen.
Fuck you, Nintendo.
And also the first handheld console to have internet connectivity. Obviously, because it's called the Game.com. The games listed for the Game.com rival the list of canceled games for thegame.com. So if that tells you anything about it. Highlights include Resident Evil 2.
Whoa.
Sonic Jam.
Okay.
Wheel of Fortune and Wheel of Fortune 2.
Okay, that one I believe for sure.
Batman and Robin, that should give you a good time frame.
Yeah.
It had, let me tell you, it had Solitaire built in.
Okay.
And it had Frogger.
We have to stream Resident Evil 2 on game.com.
I am very curious about Resi 2 on game.com.
Yes.
Is it the Game Boy version, do you think?
So I doubt it. So I opened up the Wikipedia article for thegame.com, and you know how when you click links, they're like purple?
Yeah.
And so they let you know that you've already been there. Nothing on this page is purple except the link to Resident Evil 2 for thegame.com. I have at some point in my life looked at the fucking Wikipedia page for Resident Evil 2 for thegame.com, and I have no idea why.
That's haunting.
Some canceled games for the game.com include Metal Gear Solid, Deer Hunter,
okay,
which just makes me think of the movie.
The movie, I'm sure.
A Bug's Life,
okay,
Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
What?
Furby Land.
Oh boy.
Sonic 3D Blast, Small Soldiers.
Okay.
And a game called Name That Tune.
Huh.
Wow.
And Turok Dinosaur Hunt.
I wonder.
Wow.
This thing looks like Wonder Swan level of quality or of like ability to play black and white graphics. I wonder if some of these were meant to be Wonder Swan ports. Because the Wonder Swan was not like a big deal in America if it was even released here.
Fascinating.
It's really interesting because this actually did a lot of
shit
before a lot of, but
I mean,
as Engadget noted in 2006, quote, "You can't fault Tiger Electronics for their ambition, but wrote that Game.com didn't do any one thing particularly well."
Well, I mean, it's literally is describing a Nintendo DS. So
also, internet access was text only. So
all you fucking slackers out there, enjoy that.
Buy this, you fucking idiots.
Anyway, New November continues. More new shit.
November.
New Nut November continues. As Beetleborgs Metallics is here again, and Spider-Man, I think, and some other, all your favorite shit.
I completely forgot that Life of Louie was a thing.
Life of Louie. Also, Stupid Invaders. There are a couple clips from Stupid Invaders on there too.
Yeah.
Which I played the point and click adventure game of because I thought it was like the Saturday morning cartoon. It wasn't. It was much hornier. Anyway, the horrors are back and the Ghoul cast continues and they sing. And now back to our show. Cut to Mom and Dad because we ran out of money for sets. And
with Harry Potter looking theming and the flags next to them. Also much appreciated the amount of skulls in this.
Yes.
So we get a new I'm so sorry, a horror.
Yes.
We need some snacks, y'all. We got to get some snacks. So we the mom and dad are looking for some drinks. They got to get some drinks. I love that the bartender here gives dad a playful slug on the shoulder.
Yeah.
Which apparently really hurt him. So
he also sounds like Pete from Goof Troop.
Oh yeah.
The voice that he's doing. I think he's doing a weird, nearly a prospector, but it's kind of peaty. It's really jowly.
Hello? Hi there, folks. You look mighty thirsty. How'd you like a nice monster punch?
Well, alrighty then. 2 monster punches.
2 monster punches coming right up.
Okay, you guys help me out with this because this scene of mom and dad getting 2 drinks, is intercut with Lizzie getting attacked by mirrors. Having them slowly enclose on her.
Yep.
Which she puts her hand on one at one point and it clearly starts to give way. So I don't believe this for a second. It's just any resistance at all. And they'll just fall over.
No, certainly it's not good.
Yeah.
So looking at this again, I didn't really catch it when I was watching it the first time, but it looks like the bartender, in order to make these drinks, lifts up his fingernail.
Yep.
And squirts out ooze from the wound, from the
his finger.
He's squirting monster goo into it.
For sure.
Yeah.
Into only one of them. He only does it into one of them.
I like how and the parents are disgusted by this. But like at this point they think
he's
it's
wearing
just
a
a guy.
costume.
Right. Like what do they think he's
gimmick.
doing? What do you think he's doing in there? Like
Also, can we talk about the dinosaur heads on the top of the
yes,
cups?
please. These are also the most bought at a Halloween store or like a novelty goods store thing I've ever seen.
Those are like the
fucking Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, legitimately Jurassic Park
repainted
like,
velociraptors. Yeah, they're literally they look like they're velociraptors from Jurassic Park that have been repainted blue. I'm in love with them. Like I'm obsessed with them. Again, the budget was showing so hard.
It's extremely good.
Also, like definitely these mirrors are like that reflective film. They're not actually mirrors. Those aren't glass. You can see when she puts her hands on it that they bend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The strange barkeep informs mom and dad that there are no phones, and then a very weird scene happens where they mention the kids, and he's like, "You got children here?" Yeah, man. I thought you guys had fucking hidden cameras everywhere, you dumbass. Like no, we came to HorrorLand on our own. Yeah.
The scene we already talked about where Lizzie is like on a green screen and just
she's
falling
cast into the void. And then one of the worst line deliveries I've ever heard in my life they tried to crush me. That makes it scary.
This place is awesome. Let's go on another ride.
Are you crazy? They tried to crush me. That makes it too scary.
One more ride.
So we jump right to the coffin cruise.
Yep.
And this does not feature mom and dad. But mom and dad are watching people enter the House of Horrors, presumably from what mom picks up on, against their will.
Yes.
And dad goes to investigate, promptly finds nothing. He looks at the sign that says horrors only, no humans allowed. And then looks like, sassy at the wife. And he's like, no, there was nothing here.
Yeah.
No, it's fine.
Leave your husband.
And this is the part where I was legitimately worried for the actors in this show.
Yes.
It seems like they just straight up bought coffins.
Yep, it sure looks like it.
Legitimate coffins.
It certainly looks like it.
Yeah, they look real.
They legitimately look real. And considering the budget of everything else and the fact that they're reusing one of their monster costumes and just putting an eye patch on him and having him be like the doc guy, the carny helping with the fucking like sending off of the fucking coffins. Those are probably real. Anyway, seeing these children in these child coffins is very upsetting. Anyway, smash cut to, we got another fucking skull, y'all. Every fucking camera, every CCTV camera in this park has a little skull. This one looks like it has sunglasses on top of it, but yeah, every single one. I love it every time. It makes me laugh every time.
Praise God.
Also, you can clearly see as they're turning it, it's clearly just someone holding the pole and then trying to keep it as still as possible as they turn it to get the shot. So I appreciate it.
Yes.
Also, this is when the coffin lids close and the coffin lid clearly slaps Luke's actor in the head.
Yes.
And it legitimately looks like it. I mean, it is covered in like fabric, so it probably didn't hurt that much, but like, I don't think he was ready for that, guys.
No, he was very definitely not supposed to be sitting up when that lid closed, or they didn't tell him when it was going to close or something.
Yeah, it
closed too
head.
early. It bangs him right in the noggin.
Yeah, it gets him good. Obviously, no one died, but like, dude, that having the kids in the fucking water and risking that, like, I don't think that you could fly with this shit today.
I have to assume they were not made to stay in the coffins.
Absolutely not. No,
because
no.
there is also a part where the coffins are going down the stream and one fucking slams into a rock. Like,
yeah. No, those are totally empty. I mean, if they fucking knew what they were doing. So yeah, they get out. Luke sees a spider, but looks back and doesn't see a spider.
Yeah.
So yeah, goosebumps.
We come back.
We meander through the woods a little bit more. And then the family finally reunites in a fucking egregious jump scare.
Another,
Another dad
scare.
touching someone from behind, and then it's dad. It's everybody. It's dad.
It's always dad.
So we get some shots of the horrors. I keep wanting to call them monsters, and that's just rude.
I mean, they are on the Monster Channel, so
yeah.
But I think we can assume that monsters are horrors are a species of monster.
Yeah,
I think we can assume that.
Their word.
I think it's like how people who work at Target are like team members, you know? It's like if you work
maybe.
at HorrorLand, you are a HorrorLand horror.
Maybe, but
Could
then
be.
again, like I just wonder, like, what is the difference between the mirror thing and the horrors themselves, right? Is that a horror? Because it's not one of the same species of monster, right? Like, or a variety. Although the bad-looking horrors do look quite different from the good-looking horrors, so, like, you know, costume-wise. So, like, I don't know. Monster.
Yeah.
You know, the makeup of Monster Society is a mystery to me, and I'd love it if R.L. Stine explored it more.
Yes, maybe he will in future episodes.
Maybe he will.
So no exit, no one leaves Horrorland alive.
Dum dum dum.
And then we get more Ghoulcast.
Yeah, I didn't get this one. I don't know what this means. It looked like one of them was pretending to ride a motorcycle, and I really don't know what that was about. I don't really know what that was. I feel
He's
it
wearing
was
sunglasses though, so that's fucking.
It was
sick.
cool. It was a little bit like the Tim Robinson bit with the game show with the chunky. It's like, you got the chunky, and it's like, and he comes in, and he's like, you got to work out something to do, buddy. You got. You said you're practicing.
And so we get a Kraft macaroni and cheese. If you all remember the old 3D Kraft macaroni and cheese commercials, which
it's
were
goofiness full of baloney, a bizarre phenomenon.
Yeah.
And then we get the nightmare news.
Yes.
The Fox Kids logo has been delightfully adorned with a little 3D skull. And we get live at Horrorland. We've got a reporter named Henry Horror.
And he announces that Sam and Max are missing in Horrorland. But none of these horrors seems to know where they've gone until a Cockney horror appears to be hiding them in his shirt. It's something. It's something.
It's something. So then we cut. Yeah, that was pretty quick. So we come back to more Horrorland. It's basically the family looking out a gate at their car that they can't get to because the gate is preventing them from getting out.
Yep.
This is when we get our Karen moments from Dad, where he is going to speak to the manager.
This is when the car should have fucking exploded. First of all,
when they were looking out at the gate. I was thinking like, oh, they're probably not going to do it in this episode because it's a two-parter.
Yeah.
They probably want to set up that the car is going to explode so that the next episode is like this cool thing.
I thought it might end with the car exploding, like as the cliffhanger.
I was hoping, yeah.
Instead, it's an extremely limp ass. The horrors come out and are like, "You can't leave," and then it literally like a horror just like walks forward and it's like, and end.
Also, it's the makeup around the actor's eyes is starting to go off.
Yeah.
And, probably because of all the sweat, which I don't think I've mentioned it other than at the very beginning, but the very, very sweaty episode of Goosebumps.
Yeah.
The kids were sweating profusely in the mirror maze. They were also sweating. Lizzie in particular was sweating quite a lot in the coffin.
Yeah, this is very definitely filmed in the woods in summer.
Yeah.
And then did you get the credit sequence where it cuts off Chris Leary? And he says, "Hey, it's Chris Leary." And okay, I'll admit it, I'm starting to get the creeps. We're less than 24 hours away from the Fox Kids Countdown Halloween Spooktacular, and we're doing it from a creepy and then the episode end.
Listen, broadcast TV is hard.
Yeah,
timing everything out is
that could have been the video editor himself that did that, cut it there. But
it's true. It would have been funny.
Nevertheless,
I would have done it. I would have done it as a joke.
It just reminded me that there's an ad for it later in this episode where they mention that Goosebumps is on Monday through Thursday as well. Because I remember they premiered Tower of Terror or Night in Terror Tower on a Thursday or whatever. I remember this being a big deal that it was on during the week. So I was like, wow, I'm being taken back to a time when Fox would pretend to show shows I cared about for 2 hours a day, but never the hours when I was able to watch them. Yeah. Anyway, part 2, the opening still bad. Recap in the commercial break.
And then we get Barbie. I love Barbie.
We'll be right. Oh no, that's right. Before we get anything, we have to talk about. Well, I mean, we do get Barbie.
Oh, a puking Backstreet Boy.
We have to talk about. So the second episode of this aired the first weekend of November in 1997, and the hosts were the Backstreet Boys at an amusement park. So they did have a thought here, like a Halloween weekend, first part of Horrorland. November, what can we do? Theme park shit, right? Mm-hmm. Get the Backstreet Boys. So yeah, we get to Nick Carter, who says, "We'll be right back with more chili cheese dogs on Fox Kids. Twirl and her Earl."
We'll be right back with more chili cheese dogs on Fox Kids. Twirl and hurl.
And they're on a one of those like spinning cup rides where everybody is
miming puking.
Yeah, they're miming puking around him very badly. Puping.
Puping.
Did you see? Did you enjoy, Bob, the Barbie commercial that cuts to the car crash? The like, I'm cool shopping Barbie got to.
I'm cool shopping Barbie got to.
True Thursday.
I'm cool shopping Barbie. Come on now.
I'm cool shopping Barbie. Got to fuck right off.
Cool shopping Barbie. It's incredible. But also, anyway, Goosebumps is on Monday through Thursday. Wild to air that commercial though, because it spoils the ending of the episode they're showing. What a weird thing to air.
Yeah, it's like here. Don't worry. Here's a little teaser for what's coming up.
And then now back to our show. Hey, where'd my chili cheese dog go? And then we look over at another Backstreet Boy who is puking. I guess he ate Nick Carter's chili cheese dog secretly and got sick from it. I don't know. I'm confused by what the narrative here is.
No, I think what was supposed to have happened was that the chili cheese dog fell in his puking friend's lap.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's not good.
No,
there's another part somewhere in here.
No, they're not good at this. I must stress.
Well, also, I would be empathetic here and say also they're being put in a pretty like rough position.
Yeah,
Nick Carter has to talk for the entire rest of the group, who is plainly terrible at acting or doing anything. At some point in the episode, the joke is supposed to be that they're riding down a whitewater rafting kind of ride.
Yeah,
and one of them gets the idea to bring an umbrella to block himself from getting wet, and it doesn't work because some of the water comes up underneath the umbrella, which he's holding nearly sideways.
Oh, that line is...
But the way that he says it, the way that the first person prompts that he is using the umbrella to block the water from the ride to keep from getting wet is, "There's a pretty cool technology here." And you're like, what the fuck is happening?
You know, they always have some pretty cool gadgets. I don't think that's gonna work, man.
And then when he gets splashed, Nick Carter has to say, "Don't you see? Umbrellas only work when water comes from above."
You see? Umbrellas only work when water comes from up above. Yeah, I got it, genius. Thanks.
And it's like,
literally, it sounds like a line of dialogue from Cypher the OVA. Like, it's
it sounds like something like a person translated this pretty badly, like an ESL person had to translate it.
I love him. Can I get to meet him?
Yeah.
He's it's like, seriously, it's pretty wild.
It's like space alien language.
It's very, very space alien.
But you have to understand, they were literally in a whitewater raft when they were trying to record that.
And I would bet they literally gave them like maybe 30 seconds of prep time.
Yeah, they didn't tell
for what they had to do.
Like, oh, the joke is that you have an umbrella. Go for it. If
You'll
we were there,
it'd
be like, "Hey, friend, water block umbrellas."
You'd be like, fuck shit.
He'd be like, throw that fucking thing in the drink, my dude, and then fall on yourself. It's way easier than trying to say lines to a camera.
You'd be like, umbrellas only. Oh God.
Our goal right now. Listen, we are a boy band, 14 girls who scream when we appear. We need to look like we're having fun together, which is what we definitely do all the time. What's the most fun we can have? Like a fun adventure. Well, what if we were in a murder mystery? What if Mikey died? I don't know if there's a Mikey. Maybe he is. There must be a Mikey,
sure.
Right?
Surely.
Yeah. What if Mikey died? We have to investigate his murder mystery. Why do I have to die? He looks at him intensely. We're having fun together.
I'm pretty sure that's the premise of the movie Josie and the Pussycats. Well, the murder mystery isn't, but I think the killing off of boy band members is.
Do we want to get back to the
we
episode?
return to the the dad discovering that the monsters are real.
Tries to pull the mask off, but which he clearly can
Which
do.
he can
if
do.
pulls.
He can do it, yeah.
But he decides to stop and says, "Oh, it's real." Oh
They
God,
just have really
it's
loose
real.
skin. They have this really loose skin.
They are then chased into the exact place where they should go, which is the place that Dad and Mom noticed the distressed people were going into before.
Yep.
So they run in there and, whoa, what's this?
Mario,
this is where you do the game show.
Well, his game show voice is different than what I would do, because he was like, he did like a, well, hey guys, it's me. He's nearly Beetlejuicing. Like, because first of all, the MC is a man right off the bat, and so I reject this.
That man's name is.
His name is Wretch.
He has a last name.
He does.
Yes, he does.
What's his last name?
Wretch Sniff.
Okay. Doesn't really work exactly, but okay, Wretch.
It will when you realize that his assistant is named
Halitosis. Yeah, now that one I know.
Smelling stinky breath. That is the juke.
Also, the MC's like he does a lot of he laughs a lot. His like you know what I mean? He does like a lot of I don't. He's very jokey.
He's jovial.
I said, who's there? Let's hear it for the Morris family, everybody. All together for the Morrises. Oh, come on down, folks. Watch your step. The Morrises.
What is this?
Isn't she terrific?
He doesn't have charisma. He just has a lot of laughs.
He has forward momentum.
Yeah.
Wretch Sniff is Rizless.
I think he is Rizless.
He has no Riz,
no sauce.
It's Horrorland Hidden Camera, and then we get to watch a bunch of the horrible composite shot of the audience they keep cutting to.
Yes.
Oh my God!
Clearly, only having a certain amount of the costumes, and then having to repeat them over and over in different patterns.
I don't know how to explain it, but looking at it makes me kind of sick. I'm disgusted by it. And then let's see here. Oh yeah, we get to look at some slow-mo clips of the episode we just watched.
Yep, basically the family watches the episode of Goosebumps in a really quick cut fashion.
Self-contained clip show.
But I guess if you had to wait a week, it wouldn't be quite so bad.
Yeah.
And then he says, we have another show coming up, a game show. And then he says they want to go home. He's like, you can't go home because if you do, you won't get that new car. And they're like, what? Well, what new car? We'll just have to give that car to some of their family. He keeps drawing out words.
Yeah.
It's a brand new sports utility vehicle.
Yeah. It's the adhesive medical strips. He can't say Toyota.
Yes. So prepare for the rest of this episode where if you were going to play a drinking game while watching an episode of Goosebumps, they will say sports utility vehicle so many fucking times.
What kind of a car is it?
A brand new sports utility vehicle.
Sports utility vehicle.
Sport utility vehicle. Sports utility vehicle. Sport utility vehicle. Sports utility vehicle.
Was SUV not like a common parlance at this point? I'm so confused.
I think probably not, actually, because otherwise, or maybe they just thought kids wouldn't understand it. SUV,
but they would understand sports utility vehicle.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they show a picture of it. They could have just said SUV, but I guess monsters would probably want to spell it out because they have no use for such a thing.
I don't it's
they
very.
Could have also just said car.
Yeah.
Brand new car. Yeah, that would have worked, even if it wasn't just a car. I don't know. Maybe somebody on the staff was really anal about it.
Sports utility vehicle is more word space than car. It's they just needed to add seconds to the runtime.
Guys, I think we're losing focus. I want to just bring it back to the core story of this episode, which is impossible to pay attention to because of the hilarious string of Christmas lights that are directly behind the family the entire time they're having a conversation with Wretch Sniff.
Well, they ran out of lights in the Halloween section already. They had to. It was a classic blunder. They needed to get more decorations, and the Halloween decorations were already being taken down because the Christmas decorations being put up. So they had to just use what they could get. some skulls here, some Christmas lights there, maybe a menorah. You know,
yeah. That would be so fucking funny. If
There's
was a
menorah
in the background.
Our candelabra is a menorah.
I fucking love Wretch Sniff's. It looks like the producer.
Yep.
Who is just in the blue version of the same monster suit, but he's got a headset on.
Yep.
I love it.
And then we cut to the really weird scene where the family goes to makeup.
I don't know what to fucking make of this.
I feel like, here's the thing, I should think that this is an unfortunate and regressive gay stereotype character, but I don't know what they're fucking stereotyping. Like, you know, like, it is a stereotype, but the voice is not on the same page as the script. It's weird. It's really weird.
Oh, my stars. Oh, my word. Well, there's not much I can do with them, is there? Oh, well, they call me the miracle worker. All right, come along, sit down, sit. Don't lollygag now. We haven't got all day. Right, there we are.
The energy is bizarre in this scene.
It's very strange.
It gets even stranger when this makeup artist offers the family some snacks, which one of them is Ear of Holyfield.
Yep. I don't know. That made me think that Eye of Doyle was something, but as far as I can tell, it's not. So I don't know what that's about.
I think they were just riffing.
It's just riffing. But Ear of Holyfield, yes, of course, a reference to Evander Holyfield, Mike Tyson's fight where Mike Tyson ate the ear of Evander Holyfield. But like,
did he?
Or rather, bit off the ear of Evander.
Okay,
I don't think he ate it.
I think he
bit off.
Yeah.
If they are eating the ear of Evander Holyfield, or rather, the many ears of Evander Holyfield. I don't really know what I don't know.
It's probably like a just a named dish at that point.
We're just dropping this for the parents at home. Or to be socially relevant.
This is for the kid and all of us.
We want to date this episode specifically. And then everyone's really impressed by how nice this makeup artist is, and they touch their noses with a powder puff thing, and that's it. That's the whole scene. And I don't know what it's there for. I don't know what the fuck it was.
Just boops everyone's snoot, and then everyone comes out, and more game show.
I was like, here's the scene for you.
I just feel, considering how much the family is sweating constantly, I can't imagine what it must be like to be one of the actors in the fucking full suit and makeup. That's nuts.
It's got to be bad. It's got to be rough.
Oh my god.
And they're trying really hard.
They are trying really hard. There's no reference in the trivia to like anyone saying, and I almost died on the set of Goosebumps, but I could believe it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay, so this is basically like Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
And so it's with some fucking trading card fucking shit.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I mean,
it's funny because at a certain point, the Wretch says like, tries to explain the rules. And then I think it was the mom or the dad who says like, I don't understand. And he's like, yeah, no one does. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. I think it's not even supposed to make sense. Don't worry, but it is weird. It doesn't, it's very like, what are the rules? Like,
yeah, wait, what's going on? And so, yeah, basically, you pick a card and then that card, it doesn't matter. It's Wheel of Fortune. They're trying to figure out what the phrase behind them says.
And they get money from the cards, and they get money in human American dollars. I don't.
Yeah.
Okay.
MTV, Monster TV deals out some fucking hard cash. So yeah, the dad starts this terrible round of Wheel of Fortune by not guessing a bunch of vowels and just starts to go fucking hog wild with like
consonants. Yeah.
Like fucking M. Like,
give me an M.
What?
Why?
M? What? Oh, okay. Thankfully for him, he makes a bunch of guesses. So I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves. They get in the middle of things. They start to figure it out. They get an F. They get an I. And then we have a wonderful commercial for. Does anyone want to explain this?
Crossfire, you'll get caught up in the.
You'll get caught up in the crossfire.
Crossfire.
So this is basically a commercial for a monster album. with two people in the monster costumes, the HorrorLand horror costumes, in
having a picnic in a field, basically.
A picnic in a field, and so what we've got going on, and I just said picnic in a field, so that's
we're all there.
We've got a bunch of wonderful monster themed songs. We've got "Your Heart Is in My Pocket" and "Your Lips Are in My Drawer."
Yep.
Which "Wart to Wart."
Yeah, that one's good.
"I Want to Hold Your Claws."
Mm-hmm.
We've got "So Monster Love"
50
hits.
50
monster love hits.
My Flesh Is Crawling Over to You is the last one they name.
Yeah, and more "So Monster Love" hits.
No, so Monster Love hits.
And y'all, if you want this album right now, dial 1-700-MONSTER.
I love that's all you need to dial, as if no other company uses Monster.
Hold on.
Oh no.
Are you going to call them? They're Canadian. You're going to go to jail.
I'm going to go to jail. And it's just 666.
But don't tell the kids at home that.
700-666-7837. Let's give him a call.
Oh, God.
Your call cannot be completed as dial.
Well.
Please check the number and dial again.
Well.
What if I do 1-700?
Yeah, it's an international call.
Cannot be completed as
Fuck.
dial.
I'm
Your
scared.
call can be completed, but we'd really rather not.
We'd rather not do this.
We don't want to tell you about the hidden world of monsters that exists in several deserted areas around you.
Your number and location have been logged. The American government appreciates your cooperation.
So yeah, we come back to the game show. The kids guess.
The kids already did it off screen, which it's like, if I were the audience,
they specifically note,
if I were the audience, I'd be like, fuck you, wretch.
So because he's an idiot, what's his name? Luke guesses. Okay, so it's the Morris family is LU blank blank blank.
Mm-hmm.
So Luke guesses Lucky.
Yeah,
but there's a Y in family. You fucking idiot.
Yep, you dumbass.
Because of this horrible mistake that Luke has made, they are pelted with worms.
Yeah, and then snakes also.
Snakes?
The horror is, they say they win a bucket of worms, they dump on them, but then you can see from the audience that horrors are throwing rubber snakes on them.
Okay, so that leads the mom to figure out the puzzle and figure out what it says, and it's the Morris family is lunch. Ominous.
What could it mean?
Oh, who knows?
And then we get a diegetic commercial break where Rhett says, we're going to coming back right after these messages, so buckle up. And then here we are with, I said we come back to it, gendered children's toy alert.
Yep.
The metal molder. It's the exact same fucking thing as precious metals, the thing where you make jewelry, but instead it's for boys. So it just looks like a fucking corrugated metal sheet, and you put metal, and the first thing they fucking pull out is a fucking skull.
I mean,
hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
They literally say what you can make with it. You can make skulls, horses, wizards, beasts, and dragons. Men only want 5 things, apparently.
Yeah, it's true.
But the fucking funniest part is, it's still jewelry. Because they're like, you can wear it, you can drive it, you can... like,
yep.
It's so fucking funny. It's the exact same product, just was a different facade. The 90s.
Same fucking thing. Like, they even pour the beads in the exact same way.
Yep.
So, and then we go to an incredibly well animated commercial for cereal.
Count Chocula's Monster Mash.
We've got Frankenberry in the background. We got Frankenstein. We got the Mummy. And then a werewolf doing an amazing jig.
Yep.
Like,
special guest Casper.
Was the Casper movie happening around this time?
This was just in time for the Casper's Spirited Beginning prequel film, which is a direct to VHS film.
Oh, and that would explain the what happens immediately after this commercial, which is an advertisement for that on VHS.
Yeah. And then we get a fucking awful commercial for Zippin' fruit juice coolers, which apparently is a fruit juice cooler whose mascot is Scottie Pippen. And you can win a chance to have a hoops party with the Scottie Pippen if you...
Zippin' rhymes with Pippin.
Right.
And oh my god, 1888 Pippin 7. Hey, Bob.
right.
Oh my God, if you win, Bob. If you win.
If you win after all this time, they're like, no one ever called. We've been waiting.
This is the start of a Goosebumps book, is winning this.
Now, the sweepstakes ended December 2nd, 1997. It's open to Illinois residents only. So we're going to have to lie if we
Oh,
get
no
through.
wonder I've never seen this fucking commercial. This must have been a local commercial in Illinois.
This was during the heyday of the Chicago Bulls.
I'm waiting with bated breath.
You're going to talk to him. You're going to talk to Scottie Pippen.
I'm so scared.
This goes to his mom's house.
Thank you for calling iPen Store. We are unable to take your call at the moment. Please leave your name and number after the tone, and we will return your call as soon as possible. Thank you.
iPen Store.
Hi, I'm calling because of a commercial for Hoops Party. I was told to I hope I got the right number. It's 188-PIPPEN7. I
just wanted to meet Scottie Pippen.
Yeah, I wanted to meet Scottie Pippen. So anyway, it says the sweepstakes ended December 2nd, 1997. My bad. Sorry.
They didn't give you the official rules.
Anyway, I hope I made someone's day because I don't know if you heard that. That was a store called PI Pen or IP Pen.
IP Pen.
Pippin.
That's why I said
Pippin. It's all a fucking scheme. This is his cover. This is Scottie Pippen's actual phone number, and it's layers of subterfuge. If you can solve his riddles 3, you'll get the Hoops Party.
Ippen Shonin was a Japanese Buddhist itinerant preacher who founded the Jishu time sect brand of Pure Land Buddhism.
Shoe.
It's all coming together.
Shoots baskets. Shoots
Converse shoes. Goosebumps.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, wait, yo. The Backstreet Boys are straight up at fucking, this is the ride from King's Dominion.
Is it?
This is the yeah. That's the fucking ride.
Are they at King's Dominion?
Yeah, I think they're at King's Dominion.
Holy fuck. I gotta go. It's getting too real. Sam Max commercial. And then we cut back to sport utility vehicle.
Yes. More sport utility vehicle. Finding on Raw Deal, which is the name of this game show.
Yeah.
So yeah, their lunch. Let's go ahead and skip forward just a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a funny joke about kids' toys where they get to play with little humans.
There's a human action figures. There's a commercial for it. It's not that good.
There's some convoluted bullshit about pulling cards, which is just fucking stupid. There's a smoke machine, which makes everything better. And then basically, they're told that they're going to be eaten alive, which is they're going to be eaten alive by Ripper, the killer beast, if they open the wrong door.
I don't Brandon's message about the line, I think that line is actually a line to some business, because like it was a lady's voice, it was an old woman's voice.
An identity protection pin, or IP pin, is a 6-digit number that prevents someone else.
Are we suggesting that the federal government took the number for Scottie Pippen's Hoops Party?
They must get that call all the time. Like 80% of the calls are for people who've had identity theft, and the other 20% are people asking.
20% are hoops parties.
Can I get a hoops party?
I'll let you all know if they call me back.
Yes. Anyway, Ripper, the killer beast, is behind one of the doors, and the SUV is behind the other door.
Yes.
And then there's a scene where the family is too stupid to figure out how to pick a door, and Luke is like, door number 3. Luke, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Luke,
there's two doors, Luke.
So this leads to a cavalcade of fucking nonsense.
Yep.
But before we get into it, I just wanted to note on the trivia section of the page of the wiki that shall not be named, we've got apparently Ripper the Killer Beast is Saber from Welcome to Camp Nightmare.
I recognize him immediately.
For a second, he kind of looked like the
werewolf from Fearless. Gamork from Neverending Story.
Yeah, Gamork. Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of did.
Just a little bit.
A little bit Gamork-y.
So this leads, the family picked the wrong fucking door. They go into what I can only describe as a jail cell adorned with dentures, human dentures. Yeah, and glasses. So old people definitely met their demise down here. This leads someone. It looks like a monster to go ahead and open the gate to where they were trapped, causing Ripper to rip through the door and come after them. But Mario, who is this mysterious monster stranger?
Why
who could this be?
It's our monster friend from earlier, who at that time was doing a Peter Lorre impression, and his name is Bleck.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to be the host of HorrorLand Hidden Camera, but Wretch Sniff is the producer's brother-in-law. So, wow. Even in this world, nepotism reigns supreme. Nevertheless, he's no longer, I want to stress, doing a Peter Lorre impression. Now he's doing some form of accent. I think it's a misguided one. I think he shouldn't have done it. I want to stress that. I don't think is the right choice. But it doesn't matter because he's swiftly eaten by Ripper.
Yep, Ripper gets him. This leads to an overlong chase scene in the woods.
Yeah.
Let's cut to the chase.
Cut to Dad doing an action roll over their car.
I fucking
the audience cheers.
Devil horns immediately came up when that happened.
Immediate audience pop for that.
So yeah, it's just a bunch of monsters jumping on top of this fucking brown station wagon with people screaming inside. It lasts way too fucking long. Dad finally manages to turn the ignition, start the car, and they all start driving off, but not before a quick camera cut to the what we all are assuming is a bomb.
Yep.
And at this point, I'm thinking
they're gonna blow this car up.
I think it's a bomb.
Please blow the car up. Please blow the car up.
I was like, are they gonna blow this car up with them inside?
With the children inside? Yeah. That leads to the Backstreet Boys this is legitimately, I swear to Christ, I love this ride. I fucking love, oh my God, it's legitimately King's Dominion.
I'm pretty sure Nick Carter shits himself on that ride. The expression he makes on that roller coaster can only be described as him shitting himself.
So the finale of One Day at HorrorLand is this brown station wagon with the family inside driving through a flock of seagulls.
They are running so far away, you would say.
It's true. It turns out it looks like Wretch Sniff is controlling the car with a remote control. He's able to maneuver it. Everyone in the car is yelling at Dad. Dad's like, I'm not controlling this crazy thing. And then a literal cliffhanger.
Yep. Wretch parks their car on the edge of a cliff and cuts to actual credits of the show as we then pan out to two monsters at home watching the Monster Channel, and they turn off the TV because they're tired of all this human crap and decide to have a quiet romantic evening talking to one another at home.
It's very sweet.
And then they both share a cockroach.
They do.
It's true.
They're like, what if they shared a cocktail? No, what if it was a cockroach?
Cockroach, of course. And there was our episode of television.
I can say definitively it was one of the episodes of television.
But I would say, we're not going to get into it because I certainly haven't played it. But the story of HorrorLand doesn't end here. Not only because there's an entire series of Goosebumps books called, like, HorrorLand, but because the Goosebumps Escape from HorrorLand video game is a direct sequel to the book One Day at HorrorLand, taking place a year later to follow up on the free passes from the end of the book. And not only was it DreamWorks' first video game backed by Bill Gates and Steven Spielberg, it also starred Jeff Goldblum. And it has a bunch of lore implications for HorrorLand.
Do you know who Jeff Goldblum plays?
Dracula. He plays Dracula.
He's fucking
I believe
Dracula,
he is the actual Dracula.
which is probably the best casting choice I've ever heard.
Pretty great. And also Isabella Rossellini plays someone named Cadaverina. Like,
sick.
I don't know. But yeah, there was a review of it. I did see a review of it. Hold on.
I think Jenny Nicholson talked about it at some point. If not actually played through it.
I have seen some playthroughs of it. Or I've seen stuff from it. I have never watched a complete playthrough of it.
Well, you might be forced to if we potentially possibly stream it. So keep posted to You Can't Scare Me channels.
If we figure that one out. But here is a review from Time Magazine, November 25th, 1996. It's a winner interactive adventures don't get much better than DreamWorks' scary new title, Goosebumps. Based on the book series by R.L. Stine, kids 9 and up can explore a haunted village and solve clues as they try to find a way out. Video clips of the CD-ROM's main character, Lizzie, and her friends add a realistic touch to the adventure, while visits to haunts like the Full Moon Cafe, with its menu of scrambled brains and blood pudding, add to the eeriness. The game mixes parent-stumping logic puzzles with a rich landscape that kids will find endlessly intriguing. It's $44.95. And Carolyn Jones says, Goosebumps is amazing. It has incredible 3D graphics that are comparable to those you see in adult games, like the haunted house scene where you can go right up to the door and open things up inside. It also has arcade games. Glowing reviews all around. This is objective game journalism.
Thank you for Brandon. Thank you for linking Jenny Nicholson in the YouTube on the Discord.
I have things to say about that video.
This isn't the actual.
I have
playthrough.
not seen it.
I have seen it. It's a great video.
In her top 10. Hang on, what's it called? Top 10 Hollow Scream Boovies Ghostalgic Watch List.
Yeah, yes. She talks about it in one of her Halloween videos from long ago. But I have watched that very video you linked, and I have thoughts about it, but I won't reveal them here.
The reason I thanked you is because HorrorLand, as presented in the TV show, does give extreme Evermore energy.
It does. Also, did you notice that in that video they are sitting on the very Goosebumps HorrorLand blanket that I own?
There it is.
No, I mean, like, this is like, if ever there were a Goosebumps book for Jenny Nicholson, surely it is one day at HorrorLand, right? Like,
surely, yes.
But yeah, anyway, video game, yes, I would play it. And there's more to explore when it comes to HorrorLand. To horror.
Yeah.
There's more.
I'm specifically, horror. Yeah. I'm specifically trying not to look up anything else about it because I know there is a possibility we can play it in the future at some point. So, stay tuned to You Can't Scare Me feeds. We will, if that ever happens, I'll definitely post about it and everybody can, join and we'll have a good old fucking time.
Can we call ourselves Yuck Scum?
Yuck Scum. That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, sure. Yuck Scum.
The abbreviation of our podcast being Yuck Scum is pretty good.
Then I didn't want to stop the whole thing. It's hour 4 and the mind can only contain so much.
I was about to say, my podcast recording unit is rapidly running out of space. I made a joke before we started that I'm sure I'll have enough space. I do not. I only have about less than an hour left. So
let's do it. Let's get a review.
So that's as good a reason as any to pick up the pace. Brandon, what do you have for your patented review of this wonderful book?
I have renamed mine, hopefully to not have it be Mario's patented review system. In the past, I have I think subconsciously taken words out of his. So my new patented review system is called The Eyes of a Child. If it was in picture form, it would be 2 eyes by themselves sitting on a post or something. I think a kid would like lots about this. There's lots of ideas, including rides and locations in the theme park, which are not totally spelled out. A theme park is a naturally attractive place to set any story. It gives you the opportunity to talk about lots of little short scary scenarios, but not have to spend too much time describing them, which unfortunately happens anyway a couple of times, and also on some of the lamer rides that are not like King's Dominion-y, more like old-timey, like House of Mirrors and stuff like that. Something I may have only seen once or twice as a kid instead of like a bunch of roller coasters or whatever. But still, I like the idea of it. Best of all, many of the ideas don't take up a lot of time, and there's a lot of like ideas that aren't even spelled out. That's kind of cool. That's like cool for your setting. It lets kids imagine what could have been in those other places. I do think that it kind of drags some of them out, but overall, I think a kid would probably enjoy this, particularly if they've been reading the rest of the series. There's a lot more ideas per page in this one than there are in the majority of the other Bump books. And as an old man, I think it's a little bit harder to read as an old angry man. The Eyes of an Angry Old Man, because it's kind of draws several of them out and they're not very exciting. But I think overall still, like compared to the last one, this is a lot better. It's a lot more enjoyable. Mm-hmm. And I appreciate Vampire Village and werewolf edging.
Mario, what we got for your patented review?
All right, now as we all remember, and I say that as if I remember, my patent review is 3 parts. One, of course, we know is the scariness factor of this book. I think this book, for a child, would be scary. I think that's true. I think this book genuinely does meet the criteria of being a horror book. You know what I mean? It is.
Yeah.
There are monsters. There is actual threat to life and limb. I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10.
Cool.
You know, it's kind of goofy, so like that takes away from it a little bit. That's probably intentional on the part of R.L. Stine. You know what I mean? I think that's literally his goal. So very successful then. Part 2 is the Stine factor. How R.L. Stine is this book. Now, usually this is a negative. But I gotta tell you, I think it's probably rocking a solid 8, and it's not a negative. I think this is a pleasantly R.L. Stine book.
Yeah.
Like, I think this is, in many ways, the platonic ideal of a Goosebumps book. Like, it's goofy.
If the jumps, if the bullshit fake out scares are integral to a Goosebumps book, this is a good amount to have, which is, as few as possible.
This is the best way you could do it.
Right.
I think. So yeah, I think this is a big winner in that regard. This is like, again, the platonic ideal of R.L. Stine's writing. And I think R.L. Stine was having a lot of fun writing it, and that's part of it. I think R.L. Stine clearly liked doing this story. Mm-hmm. And then finally, it's relatability, aka the kids zone. Well, I don't know how relatable this book is. If I'm being totally honest with you, it's maybe a 6. I mean, I guess I would be scared if I were lost alone in an amusement park, and I do also imagine being frustrated with my brother pinching me. So in those regards, yes. However, I don't think this book is particularly trying to, like, say anything or appeal to kids on a particular fear or concern, like bullying or peer pressure or some shit like that. I think this is literally just R.L. Stine being like, I want to write a book about a amusement park where everyone's a monster. I think that's literally it, and I think it worked for that reason. There's nothing more to it. It's just kind of a fun time. I liked it. I think it's pretty good. And that's it.
Alrighty, and I'll go ahead and give my ranking update, which I was doing a little while ago. I think, okay, so as a refresher, I think probably the best Goosebumps, I'll do my top 3.
Yep.
Tied for first, Ghost Next Door, Haunted Mask. Those are 10 out of 10s in my book.
Okay.
Let's Get Invisible and Say Cheese and Die are tied for second place, I guess, or I guess third and fourth. At 9 out of 10. I would place One Day at HorrorLand between Say Cheese and Die and Welcome to Deadhouse. I am giving it an 8.5 out of 10.
I think that's very valid.
It's not bad at all.
I think
I appreciate Jovial Bob really fucking pulling the plane out of the fucking nosedive.
Thank you.
Thank Christ. Like, that last book was fucking rough. So
it was yuck scum.
Well, I've got great news, because up next
I have no idea what to fucking expect from this. But before we get there, let's go ahead and plug our Patreon and website. Hi, y'all. Welcome to the YCSM family if you've made it this fucking far. Thank you very much for listening to what I can only expect to be probably 4 hours long of
you can
Goosebumps
trim
talking.
A bit of it,
so thank you. Oh no, I'm definitely going to trim, but it's going to be, I mean, we're at 4.5 hours of recording.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much. If you want to support us in our endeavors, you can go to ycsmpod.com. If you want to become a Patreon patron, you can go to patreon.com/youcan'tscareme. And we are also youcan'tscare.me on Blue Sky. That is also a URL for our website. If you want to just go ahead and go there and just support us. Give us, if you want to toss us a few bucks, you don't have to. Reminder, you can become a Patreon patron for free. That means that you can get the visual feed the feed for Spotify, which has all of the video versions, which are normally on YouTube. If you right now we don't have enough subs to claim the YCSM pod URL, but we are You Can't Scare Me on YouTube, YCSM pod. If you search for either of those search terms on YouTube, you'll be able to find it. You can also just find us with You Can't Scare Me podcast on YouTube. And sincere, heartfelt thank you to all of our patrons. We've gotten a bunch more people subbing to the Patreon, so thank you very much for joining. And with that, let's go ahead and figure out what we're gonna do with all these fucking bees.
I'm scared of them.
I'm scared of them.
Which is I am actually scared of bees, so that's a bit,
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, what kind of bees? Like just bumblebees or yellow jackets?
I am scared of. I have. I mean, when I say scared, it's like not even a real phobia. I can deal with them. You know what I mean? Like it's not a problem per se. But I have in the past when I was younger jumped into traffic to avoid a bee. So I've not always made the best decisions as a result of this. Bumblebees, I'm not so bad about. I don't like them in my house, and I don't want to be near them because they're quite loud. I don't like loud,
pretty loud,
buzzing insects, but wasps I have a bigger problem with.
Oh, wasps are fuckers. Which bumblebees are fucking adorable. I love bumblebees. They're so cute.
Sure.
I would have them crawl around on me. The thing, I've already said this story. I've already told the story about eating a fucking bee accidentally.
Yep.
We don't need to go there. So, but no. And for anyone out there who's going to jump on me when I said, are you afraid of yellow jackets? When you said you're afraid of bees, I know that yellow jackets are wasps, not bees. The reason I said that is because I wanted to point that out to Mario.
Yeah, I
wanted to be like, no, if you don't like yellow jackets, that doesn't mean you don't like bees, because bumblebees in particular they're so fucking cool. We have a bush out in front of our house that for some reason big furry bumblebees just love that fucking bush. And it's just, I love them. I love seeing them. I love hearing them.
I'll put it this way. I struggle with buzzing insects. with large buzzing insects.
Yeah, generally speaking, if I hear buzzing, I'm like, what the fuck is that? But I feel like if I know it's a bumblebee, I'm like, hell yeah. I love those dudes. They're my fucking pals. I love them. But yeah, no, But other than that, wasps can get fucked.
Fuck off.
They can join mosquitoes. Let's just exterminate them. Let's just get rid of them. Why? We don't need them.
Listen, bees make honey.
Bees do.
They do, but wasps do not make jam, and it's not like they couldn't. They have access to fruit. And on that note, I'll leave more thoughts of bees for the time when we talk about the book about bees.
All right, and with that, let's go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. I fucked up.
Well, aloha means hello and goodbye, so aloha.
And I'll say good night to you all.